now I'm fucking recording shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing this if I was burnt the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, to the good friendships, I guess.
It's the
You
good
see, I knew there was a lot of material in there.
How fun. I'm so happy. And I'm so thankful.
Have you
for
guys
Joel.
ever dated another set of best friends?
How did you know what you got?
It was like we didn't know though.
We had no idea
Yeah,
that
until
they were
later.
best
And they were like,
friends.
we're also best friends. And then we were like, wow.
Really?
And we thought, oh wow, like this is so cool. Like this is such a good idea. Not.
Sucks, but I mean, and then when it comes to like hanging out, you just rather hang out with your friends or stuff like that. I don't know. I guess that's a lot of what I've seen. If I'm being completely honest, I think.
I'm just gonna never like do anything.
No, because I don't know. Like
This really
that.
just brought me down.
That's not necessarily like, I don't know. I've seen it turn into like a lot of good stuff. And I will say that there are guys who are looking for relationships, who are looking to be with somebody, and then to have a connection with somebody, and then I don't know, but.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Look, I
Yeah.
can put you guys on,
Oh wow.
and
A
then
lot of pressure.
switch over to me. Did you
The
see
man,
I
the myth, the legend.
I painted my nails?
I did see
Yeah.
that.
Is
And then
that
go back to you
gel
guys.
or is that normal?
That's normal.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. That's gel,
Oh, it is.
Yeah. of course. So, do you guys like this? Because I can take it off. Some people say that it's distracting, but I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we could leave it like this.
Like that?
Yeah, like we could still see.
Like that? You don't want it like that?
Definitely. Probably not.
I feel like I'm just gonna stare at myself.
It's kind of hard not to for me, honestly.
Okay, well, let's not get into that right now.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here.
Wait, we're starting.
Yeah, we're starting.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, we started like a long time ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Okay. My bad.
No, it's okay. I should have told you, but I like to catch people by surprise. It helps ease them into the conversation. But good morning. Thank you guys for being here so much. I know it's the first time that we meet, but Julia, it's your second time on the podcast. How do you feel?
I feel ready. I feel a lot more like I
Loosey
have
goosey.
a lot more loosey goosey. I have a lot more experience this time. around.
Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it. It's like my
So-
sixth episode. I already feel like I'm a pro.
Yeah, I think I'm a lot more. I could feel like I could talk a lot more naturally now instead
Okay.
of feeling like weird.
Yeah,
So yeah, and it helps that we've been hanging out a lot more too.
100%. Yeah,
So like the conversation just kind of flows like
Yeah.
a little bit more naturally now.
and we'll get there too. Don't worry about it. We'll get there too. So, thank you for bringing your best friend. How long have you guys been friends? Let's start there.
How long? 6, 8, 9 years?
8, 9 years. Wow. And been best friends for all those, or did you guys start off as like just regular friends from like a?
Since
A group of
sixth
friends?
grade, we've
Yeah.
been best friends. Like, we would do like everything together in 6th grade, and then, like, we still talked a lot in high school, and but
Yeah.
we met new people, but we
Mhm.
like were still really close.
Yeah, because we went to different high schools. So she went to Socorro, I went to Montwood. So like we couldn't always like talk every day, but like we still made sure that we hung out together. We texted
Yeah.
like almost
like,
every
That's
day.
so
Since
cool.
6th grade, we had like the same vibe. Like literally, like we just get each other. Like I don't know, like the same things make us laugh.
Mhm.
Since
Okay.
6th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, like we have like the same values, same morals. Like
Yeah.
we think the same.
Wow.
So-
We
it's-
like a lot of the same things,
wow.
we go- and then like we relate a lot to certain things.
Aw, that's a lot of chemistry right there.
Yeah.
To start off
Yeah.
with that and to just keep building it up.
Yeah, like I remember the first day we met. I'm not sure if Jen remembers, but it's like burned into my memory. It was a 6th grade class, and you had to take, for some reason, like a typing class. Like you needed to learn how to type on a computer. And so I remember I sat like in the front of the class, and I really didn't talk to anyone in that class because I was kind of like, I don't know, weird.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I remember like
I believe you.
yeah, yeah. I don't feel like I need to explain that. And then our teacher just like gave us a new seating arrangement,
Yeah.
and so she sat
And
Jen
it
right
wasn't
next
by
to
like
me.
last name, because
Mm-mm.
like we don't. It was just like random, and I was gonna drop out of that class. Like I was so scared. I was like really shy middle schooler, and she was mean. She wasn't mean. She was just like yelling a lot. And so I remember crying, and I like after school, and I was like, I want to change my schedule, like drop this class. And the teacher walks into the counseling room. She's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "I'm gonna drop the class. Like this is too much for me." And she was like, "No, like give me one more week, and you're gonna love it." And I stayed. Like I had to stay. She didn't let me drop. And that's eventually.
Right. So you imagine if she like if the teacher
If she
didn't
had
walk
dropped,
in,
yeah.
she had dropped the class.
But it was a typing class.
I was like, I don't know what was wrong with me. It wasn't a big deal. Like I was just always like that since middle school.
Okay.
Julie was like a lot tougher than me.
Okay.
But like I'm not a sensitive person, but I am a sensitive person.
Damn. I do remember my typing class. It was pretty intense. Yeah.
Right? Why do they make
Yeah.
it so
It
intense?
wasn't
know.
like the typing itself. I think it was just her yell. Like she talked really loudly.
It
Like
was just the teacher.
She was really intense. She was an intense.
You know, my
teacher.
typing teacher was also really fucking intense for being a fucking
And,
typing
like,
instructor.
me, 6th grade, I was like, this is too much pressure for me. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've always been that way. Even like when we were in cheer together, Julie like took it so well. Every day I was crying home, begging my parents. I was like, I hate that they yell at me all the time. Julie took it so well.
But it's because it was tough. Like they're so mean. I think like now that I'm a lot older and I like look back at like those like cheer years, they're so rough on little girls.
Oh, I believe you
Terrible.
100%. Yeah.
Terrible.
I mean, I used to hear some. I mean, but it's not just that. Like even I remember trying out for sports and also in high school, and they were really tough. But I mean, I didn't know any better back then. You know what I mean? So I was just like, this is how it is. Like this is, they want the best of the best. And to me, high school was like the fucking shit. You know what I mean? So I didn't know it was just a bunch of fucking kids not knowing what the fuck is going on. Being given instructions. So I was taking it seriously, but I didn't like it at all. Like it took all the fun away from me, because before I was used to playing with my friends, whatever sport we wanted to do. Now it was serious. People were really mad at me when I fucked up.
And we were like in 7th grade, and I was like, I just want to have fun. Like I don't want to be threatened that you guys aren't gonna like
put me on like the thing, or like I'm gonna have to like make everyone go run a mile because I don't do this right.
They made you guys
like-
run?
We were
in
always
cheerleading?
running. We were
Really?
doing push-ups all the time. You did push-ups wrong. He was like, "You're like, it was too much." They would like threaten like that they wouldn't catch me. I was like a flyer. Like if I didn't do it right, they were like, "We're not gonna catch you." And I just felt so
No
terrible.
way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Because I remember when I was in middle school, our cheerleading coach was also an advanced science teacher, and I was in advanced science in the fucking 7th grade, I think. And everybody liked him because he was really cool, and he was teaching people all kinds of crazy shit, like how to do backflips and shit. And he would teach me too, but I never learned. My dream has always been to do a backflip. It's like the coolest, because when I was a kid, I wanted to be a ninja, so I wanted to do backflips and shit. So that was always really cool, and he was really cool. He was a really cool guy, and everybody liked him because of that. And he was teaching like everybody to do all kinds of crazy cool shit, but he wasn't mean, and it was just one of them.
Well, we had like other coaches that would come in, and they weren't like part of the school, and he was like, Julie, like I know you had harder coaches, but to me, it was just like not fun anymore. Like he was just too rough. Like
he was too intense for sure.
especially, I don't know, we were like so little, and then like now I look back and I'm like, I would have never treated someone in 6th grade like that. I would have never said the things that he would have said.
100%. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so immature. That's so weird. And now he's like a priest.
Yeah. I like saw him at church one time being like, he's like trying to become a priest. And even my parents, like, they're like, why is he becoming, you were the last person that is
Literally.
holy at all.
Jesus.
And it's so embarrassing now that I look back, because I'm like, you guys are weird. Like, looking at like kids, I would have been like, let's have fun. Like,
Yeah.
you guys are never going to get these memories back. And it's expensive. Like,
It's
this isn't
so
like
expensive.
a cheap sport.
Yeah.
So to be
Yeah.
treated that
I wonder
way.
where it was coming from then, like for them to take it so seriously. Because
We were really good, too.
I think the exact
I
same
guess I
thing.
don't
I mean, because you guys were pushed. I mean, there's a price that you pay
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, these coaches came from like all-star groups. So, like, even like in high school, I had a coach where he's like, they're the best in El Paso, best cheer team in El Paso. They go to like the like most elite cheer competitions and they win.
Wow.
So like definitely I think like it obviously helped us. Like we would always like win first place,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
is great.
Yeah.
But like mentally, like it was
Fucking-
definitely
Toll.
Yeah, it
takes
definitely
a
does,
toll.
especially at such a young age.
Yeah, and I mean like now I'm not even in cheer anymore. So like really all of that like was for nothing. Like great, I won a couple
It was
of
like for
awards.
them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was for them because they're the ones that stayed coaches and they're the ones that
Exactly.
have the trophies hung up in the fucking office that they have. But you were just kind of left and dipped. And it's not like they inspired a passion for cheerleading that like made you pursue it further down
But
the
you're
line.
No.
mentally stronger now.
Yeah, mentally I'm stronger, but like damn, I didn't have to
Like,
be yelled
damn.
at like that.
Like I feel like you could build people up and not, but that's just the fast way to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always,
It-
I've
I
always thought
didn't-
that.
I don't think I take that very, like, I do not take that well, like, at all. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, at that point, like, I don't want to do this. Like, literally, like, you did it for too long. Like, and then I did it for 1 year, and I was like, no, like, I was crying every day home. I was like, this is not how you motivate me. Like, I know
Yeah.
people are motivated in different ways, but I was like, this is not for me. Like,
Yeah.
I totally see that too. I mean, I guess for me it was more of like, there's nothing you could say to me right now that like my cousins and my parents didn't say to me when I was a little kid. You know what I mean? Because they were like, you couldn't not be participating in whatever we were doing. Like when we were going to the park and things like that. And there was a fucking kid all the way over there with like a soccer ball or something. They'd be like, go talk to that fucking kid. Like, go talk to him right now. You better go hang out with that kid. You're not going to sit here for 3 hours, dude. Like, go play with that fucking kid. So I had to like run all the way over there and be like, hey, can I play with you? And he'd be like, sure, whatever. And then, but it was like every single time. If we were like at a party and some kids wanted to hang out with me, they'd be like, go hang out with the fucking kids. They'd be taking me to parties everywhere and shit. But go fucking, number one, they wanted to have like their own time too.
Yeah.
But stuff like that was like, you met people that you didn't fucking like, but you had to go hang out with them. Sometimes they would leave you with your cousins and shit. They'd make me clean the fucking house or whatever the fuck it was. So whatever the coach is telling me to like, oh, I remember one time, funny story, and I'll try to get some clips of it, but I have a grandma that's pretty intense, but I had never had to deal with that. I'd always heard my other cousins talk about her being intense in like classrooms when she would go to like their fucking parent teacher conferences and shit. But it never happened to me. She's, cause we've always kind of been like her cheap list. Like she would always kind of like go easier on us. Me and my brother. So we used to play lacrosse in high school, and I took her to one of my games, and holy shit, she was walking up and down the fucking stands yelling at me in Spanish. Now, I mean, she's used to being here in El Paso, but we were up in Santa Fe. Like, people did not understand what she was saying, especially from the other team because they were from there. And she was saying that she was going to kick me, like she was going to take me out. She's like, I'm going to take you out right now. She didn't understand the game, number one. She plays soccer, yeah. Lacrosse, like I barely understood it my first year playing it, and she was yelling at me the entire time. Everybody was laughing, and we played 2 games back to back, and we have 45 minutes in between to just chill and relax. And as soon as the game was over, she was like, so there I am, like fucking like walking across the field because everybody heard her. Everybody was listening to everything that she was saying, and she was complimenting my teammates. She was like, very good, like good shit like that. But to me, she was just talking shit in front of everybody. And everybody from my team was from El Paso, so they understood everything that she was saying, and all the parents too. So trust me, like when it came to a high school coach of whatever, like there's nothing as bad that you could have said to me. That was but you see, like at least from my family, I know that it's coming from like a loving place.
Right.
Like they were doing it to be like, don't be a little bitch, like
Yeah.
go have fun, but you have to be good and you have to be respectful and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they could do that because they took care of me and stuff. A fucking high school teacher
Random,
or a
like,
random fucking
middle-aged man.
yelling at kids like that,
Yeah.
probably
Dude,
not the best thing.
And it's actually crazy because my niece she's taking tumbling classes, so she's wanting to get into cheer too, and so she's like looking at old videos of me and my sisters because they also used to cheer. And so she's like learning how to do the splits, like she wants to do like backflip, all this like different kind of
praying
stuff.
for her.
And
Wow.
I was like telling my mom, I'm gonna sit on her when she does her splits because that's what these old men would do to us. We would like be like in a middle split and we had to go all the way down. It hurts. And they would sit on us like a grown man, big, buff, like however like much they weigh, like sitting on like 110-pound girls.
Oh my God.
And you would like, the more that you like screamed or try to get them off of you, the more they would
They would
push
fucking
down
push you.
and like
Yeah,
make
it's
you
like-
stay right
it's
there.
such a weird, it's like cheerleading, gymnastics. It's like the same dynamic. And I'm like, why? Like, it's so weird. Like, I used to work at Gymnastics Elite. The coaches were the same way.
Really?
Like, it would be 4-year-old little girls, obviously really good. Just like if they did something bad, like grab them by the wrist, like just like yank them around.
oh my God.
And I'm like, dude, like relax. She's 4 years old. You're like
Wow.
36 years old.
Yeah,
Like
that's fucking insane.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like
bad.
just like a rag doll. Like literally, she only
Literally.
weighs
Yeah, I
like
mean, yeah, of
90
course.
pounds.
Yeah, that's
And I'm like,
insane. You see,
crazy.
I took like karate and shit when I was a kid, and they didn't fuck with me like that.
And that's karate.
And that's
Like,
karate.
you're
Like you're literally supposed to be kicking ass and
kicking
shit,
people.
and nobody fucked with me like that. Everybody, I remember like I would cry during the like, cause every Fridays or whatever we would do like sparring, and I would always cry because I didn't want to fucking like, or they would punch my nose or something, and like even though you're wearing gear, I have a lot of allergies, so you touch anywhere near my nose, I start fucking going like for a minute, and that sucks. So I would always cry, and they would always be like, "Don't cry, like it's okay, like just go, you're gonna do great." And then I get my ass whooped, and then afterwards it'd be like, "Okay, just walk it off, like you're okay." Like anything like that was super encouraging. But they would let me get my ass kicked, which
Yeah.
taught
well,
me
like
different
yeah,
type of
that's the
lesson.
point. Like to get down
Encourage
and get back
them,
up.
yeah.
But like it's sometimes it's nice to be like, keep going. Like you got it.
Yeah.
You're doing good. Like,
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
would never, we would never get that. I mean, like, again, like, I see it now. Like, I could kind of see, like, their perspective, like, when they would always tell us, you don't look good. Like, this looks disgusting.
Yeah.
You guys look terrible, blah, blah, blah. So even when we looked good, we tried to keep getting better because we thought we looked terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
we can't see what we look like when we
yeah,
perform.
yeah. That
So
makes
the
100%.
more they told us, like, this looks so bad. You guys are going to lose. Like, we need to get together, blah, blah. And then so right when, like, we think, damn, we look disgusting. We need to, like, get our ish together. And then we perform and everyone is just like, holy shit, this is Slider, this is Montwood. Like, this is why, like, they're, like, the best cheer
Yeah.
team, like public school cheer teams in the city. And I mean that. We really are. So, I mean, like, that's great and all. And I guess, like, it, like, makes you stronger or whatever. But, like, damn.
Revealing the
really
facts
didn't
right
need that.
now, it took blood, sweat, and tears.
It genuinely
Now
did.
you're first here in my podcast. You're getting a look behind the curtain of why
behind the curtain.
Montwood cheerleading was so good.
Exactly. You heard it here first.
But you guys weren't cheerleaders in the same high school, were you?
we were in middle school.
In middle school.
And I only did it in like 7th grade. And I remember coming home. I have a vivid memory. Coming home, it was like for competition. And I asked my dad, I was like, please, I don't ever want to like take me out. Like take me out.
Wow.
Because that's when they were just like threatening me. And I remember you got involved. You're like, you're going to pick her up. Like, you're not going to drop her. Like, this is a team. Because like my whole like stunt
Yeah.
thing, my whole like the people that were like lifting me up were just like always threatening me. They're like, we're not going to carry you. We're not going to pick you up if you fall.
That's fucking horrible.
I know. And I was like, if you're this, like, I'm like trusting you guys if
Yeah.
something happens. Like,
I'm up here because you told me to get up here.
Yeah,
exactly.
Now
and
you're
my
saying
dad
you're not
was
gonna catch
like,
me?
No, you're gonna finish the year. We paid. You have to stay. Like, you're not a quitter. Blah blah blah. So I just finished it, and then since then I was like, no.
Wow. That sucks.
But yeah, that's.
And I was
those are
just
cheer.
crying. I was like, please, I'll do anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
And other people felt the same way, like other your cheerleading buddies.
Definitely, like
But
everyone.
they took it so well.
I mean, like,
Maybe I'm just weak. Like, I literally feel like I'm weak. But I'm like, I don't care a lot about stuff. Like, I feel like I'm genuinely, like, not a sensitive person. Like, would you agree? But then when it comes
Yeah.
to stuff like that, I'm like, no.
I think you
no.
just realize like it just doesn't even matter. Like, it's not as like deep as like it probably should be.
Okay.
But since like I had already just really liked the sport and I saw like how good my sisters were,
Yeah.
and I wanted to be as good as them. So I kept in it just because I was like,
You
I
were
hate it.
heavily more invested in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I hate like how I'm being treated, but like I can't let that like distract me from the sport itself.
Wow. Imagine having to think that way when you're supposed to be a fucking kid out there playing in the mud and shit.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah, figuring out what the
Traumatizing.
yeah, taking like easy typing classes and shit.
Easy typing classes.
Right, but
Yeah. And then, like, that just, like, from there, I feel like Julia just always has my back. She's always protecting me. Like, anytime someone does something wrong, she's like, you need to stand up for yourself. You need to protect yourself. Let me talk to them. Like, and I'm just like, it's fine.
but it's not fine. I hate
Like,
it.
with any little thing, even, like, with that Apple, like, support, like, someone was giving me the hardest time, like, with my computer for
Yeah.
Apple. She's like, tell them what's their name, that they don't, talk to the supervisor, say that they don't want to work anymore. And I was like, Julie, I'm over it. Like, I'm literally over it.
That's good.
I
That's
literally
good.
feel like Mama Bear coming in. Like,
No,
I need
that's
to
good.
defend her because it's like you don't talk to her that way. You don't talk to her that way. I hate it.
I will say that like I wasn't that way either. Like not like confrontational at all. I would always just kind of let things happen, just kind of adapt to the situation. it wasn't until people start pushing their shit and they take your kindness for
Yeah.
weakness, and then that's when you gotta be like, nah, you know what, like, go fuck yourself.
Oh.
And also, like, I will say I worked a lot in the retail industry. We talked about this, and you kind of you don't get me wrong, you kind of do get desensitized to the stupid shit that people do,
Yeah.
but when it actually affects you, you learn how to like speak up for yourself and handle the situation.
I guess like I just don't take it personal at all. I'm just like, well,
Well,
but like when
yeah.
it gets like other stuff involved, like other stuff where it's like just bothers me, like, okay, the whole insurance thing, I got into like a car accident and the insurance guy was never answering my calls.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I'm up like for a week. And I
Yeah.
was like, how am I going to get in contact with your insurance? Like, it was Farmers Insurance. They were never answering me. And I was like, I was fed up. Like,
Yeah.
I was calling him twice a day. And I was like, my car's never going to get fixed.
Yeah.
Then my dad got involved, left the ugliest voicemail. He's like, you don't contact me back in 45 minutes. I'm going to do this. And he calls me in 5 minutes. And
Wow.
he's like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I've been receiving your calls. Since then, I'm like, I'm done playing these games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And,
sometimes you
like,
got to put your fucking foot down.
I know, and I'm like, no one takes me serious. But I could have never gone up there. I don't know. I'm just like, I need to get better at that.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes, I think for me, I think I just angry. Like, I think I get angry really easily. And that's why I feel like I need to say something. Like, I can't, because I just get so, like, I get angry so easily, right? Like, I just get annoyed by, like, certain things.
Really? I wouldn't think that from you. at
Because I
all.
try, like, my best to, like,
No, but
compress
you
it.
know what it
To put
is?
the
I
beast
feel
away.
like if someone is like, we're checking out and they're giving you attitude, you will not hide.
No, I definitely, like, will be like, okay.
Like literally, you'll give them this look and be like, okay. And I'm like, I'm just here. Like,
There was one time, I don't know why that, like, reminds me of a story. There was one time, like, me and Ivan were, like, walking to class. And I was, like, walking up the stairs. And, like, some guy was, like, he wasn't even on his phone. And I was walking up. And there's, like, a whole, like space near him that he could have gone to the side instead of, like, just kept walking towards me. And so I'm like, I'm not gonna break me and Ivan's conversation
Yeah.
so that you could, like, walk.
Yeah.
Like, no, like,
Yeah.
go move. Like, why
Yeah.
are you walking in my space? And so he kept walking. And then I just, like, stood there. And then, like, he, like, had to, like, then he saw me and then he moved. And then I was like, okay. And, like, I just started, like, laughing.
it's the face. It's a face and it's okay.
That's, like, catchphrase, I guess. when
You
people
see, I
piss
do
me
shit like
off.
that, Julia. I get my ass kicked.
You get your ass kicked.
Yeah. I
Well-
get in a fucking physical altercation. So be very happy that you get to do that shit. Because if I went up to guys that don't move and was like, okay, they'd be like,
That's true.
okay, what's up, bro? Like, what the fuck? Say some shit. Oh, I've had to deal with that so much, Julia. You don't even know. It's not
Maybe
even
you
funny.
should just start the fight then. Why not?
I should start the what?
Maybe you should just start the fight. Like, just
Just start the fight. Just go
Stall,
at it.
like,
yeah,
yeah.
fuck yeah, bro. Too many people fucking with my shit.
exactly.
Walking to my side of the fucking town. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, it
I'd be
definitely
in a-
gets annoying.
Yeah, I'd be an unstoppable force, Julia. That wouldn't be good for the world.
Maybe that's what the world needs.
Maybe. I should
Why
be like
hold
a.
back?
I should be like a 7th grade cheerleading instructor.
Exactly.
Should be like, "What's up, bitch?"
Hey, literally, like, what is wrong with you? But yeah, that's so weird.
I you know what's funny is I remember when I was all of my elementary and stuff, I went to these schools that were down in Central that were getting built that were new, and a lot of the teachers were shitty like that, and I didn't know why until I got older. Like, they were pretty mean and weird. Lose just stories that I could fucking dump on these motherfuckers. But later, funny enough, my cousin had a daughter and he was gonna put her in that school because it's near my grandma's house, and they got a house there. And I was like, you know what, like, let me go check the reviews, because I had a lot of bad experiences there. And I went to go check the reviews, and it was a bunch of fucking people like me, like 2019, 2021, that were leaving reviews about how shitty their experiences were when we were kids.
Wow.
And I was like, holy shit. And they were like, yeah, the teachers, or like parents that would be like, my kids got bullied in school by the teachers
Oh
and
my
shit like that.
God.
Yeah. By the counselors
That's
and
so
stuff like
weird
that.
to
Yeah.
me.
And I'm like, go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry, I interrupted. I feel like adults just do it because they feel like they finally have power over something, and a little kid's not gonna talk up to an adult. And to me, that is so weird, because I'm like, it's so weird, especially when you're in school and they're like, the real world's so tough. Like, it is, but you can also say, hey, when, like, get back up every time you get back down. Like the real world's hard, but you can do it.
Yeah.
Like look at me, like I'm still here. Like
Yeah.
like there's no reason to constantly be putting down.
That-
Such your old age. Like
Yeah, 100%. I remember those are the teachers in my college. I got like a bunch of awesome professors, but I remember in high school it was a breath of fresh air when you would get somebody who was strict but like understanding. And I feel like
Yeah.
those were the people who knew that I'm talking to some fucking kids right now. Like
yeah.
half of the shit that my teachers said to me or did to us when we were growing up, they told us like verbally, not anything like weird or anything like that. But I would never like to a fucking kid. I'm like, I see my fucking little cousins and they're like 6, 7, and I would never expect her to understand half of the
Yeah.
shit that I'm going through or have to project on her anything. Or like, it's
Yeah.
just a fucking kid. Like, let it be. But I don't know. I guess they're compressed in there, underpaid, whatever,
Yeah.
and fucking left alone with a bunch of kids. Like, because I will say that kids stress me the fuck out. I don't like
Yeah.
kids. I don't like hanging out with
But
kids.
if you
Me
know
neither.
you don't like kids, then don't choose that type of career.
That's also,
path.
yeah. You're the
Yeah.
adult. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're the
Yeah.
adult, bro. Like, I
Yeah.
understand this shitty situation, but you're the adult. You're the one that's
Yeah.
supposed to figure out how to deal with this shit, not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't get this type of point of view until I was older. And I would like hang around younger kids, and I was like, it was weird, like that you would ever even say that
To
to
a little
someone.
kid.
Yeah. Like it was just unnecessary. I don't know.
You know, I have family that's still like they're super like into like treating the guys as if they're like the fucking Don Johns of the house. So like ever since they were kids, I remember being like 9 and 10, and like they would ask me like, do you have a girlfriend here? Like, do you have like fucking like have you kissed a girl and shit? And I'd be like, no.
I'm like 10 years old.
Yeah, and they'd be like, you have to, bro. You have to get a girlfriend. Come on, bro. You're already 10, 9. Like you have to get a girlfriend.
10, 9.
Yeah, and I'd be like, fuck yeah, dude. Like I gotta get a fucking girlfriend and shit. It was crazy. Yeah, it
And then
was
you
like-
look back and you're like, I was only 10 years.
Yeah, no, I'm like, bro, I was still
Yeah.
fucking gluing stuff. You know what I mean? In school, like my assignments were
Yeah.
still cut shit out and like glue it on.
Yeah.
Like it was weird.
I'm learning how to spell still.
Yeah.
Probably.
Still learning how to read and shit.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Took me forever to learn how to read. No, it didn't. It didn't take me forever.
Yeah, don't say that on here.
Yeah.
People don't even know that.
So how do you feel now that you guys are like progressing in this like friendship? Because I will say this, and this is why I was very interested in the fact that you guys have been friends for so long, because I don't hang out with anybody that I used to hang out with when I was in 6th grade. I don't even hang out with anybody that I used to hang out with on the daily in high school. Most of my friends most of the guys that I hang out with from high school, we weren't friends in high school. We ended up joining organizations at UTEP together, and then that's how we became friends. We knew each other. We spent a lot of time with each other because a couple of them were from the lacrosse team, but most of it was like all of that in college. That's why it's so weird for me that you guys like kept on, especially because I've seen a lot of relationships or friendships fall apart in that fucking when we go to different schools and
Mhm.
shit's different. But you guys kept it going, and there was no
Yeah.
bumps along the. I mean, I'm sure there's been bumps along the road, but
No.
no, really, it's just been a smooth ride all along.
We've never like
I don't think we've ever even had a fight, like a fight where I'm like, oh my god, I'm not gonna talk to her.
Oh no. I think that's like
Jeez.
fucking TV shit. Or well, actually no, because I do know people who do fight like that. But I've never actually fought with my friends like that either.
no, like we've never fought like that. But like again, I feel like we like it's so cheesy. Like I really feel like we like in a previous lifetime like have known each other. Like we just it's a different connection.
This shit is cosmic, you know. This shit is
Exactly.
fucking.
Because like since the beginning, it was someone that I could call at any time of the day just to bother. Like with any type of problem, I will call you, FaceTime you, and say I can't do this anymore. Like at the airport, like one time my flight got canceled. I was already on the phone with Julie, and I was like,
Wow.
I'm pissed. I don't know what to do. I need help. Like she's like, it's all right, calm down. Like with anything, I could just call Julie, and I know that she'll always be there.
Mhm.
And, like,
Oh, that's
exactly.
cute.
And
yeah.
it's the same thing with Jen. Like, literally the exact same thing. Any sort of situation happening in my life, like I cannot make my own decisions. I can't. And I always joke with my mom. I'll be trying to make life-changing decision. Don't know what to do. And I'm like, hold on, I need to talk to the council. That's legit what I tell my mom. Like, I need to talk to the council first about this because I don't know.
Wow.
And so I'll tell Jen, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I never know what to do with like pretty much anything. And so I need Jen to like help
Yeah.
me make these
Even
decisions.
if it's at 2
Wow.
a.m.,
Mhm.
Julie will answer her phone in the middle of the night. And she'll be, what's up?
Damn.
And I'm like, you know what? I'll just call you back another time. But like literally at any time of the day, like I know it's not judged. I know I'm not bothering her.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And like, And like
Wow.
I remember I was talking to this one girl, and she's like, "Who's your best friend?" And I was like, "Julie," and then like this other girl, Danny. And she was like, how often you guys speak? And I was like, me and Julie every day. I was like, we FaceTime like 5 times a day. Like ride home, like anything. Like I just need company, I'll just call Julie.
And sometimes we don't even need to talk. Like we'll just be doing our own thing.
We're on
Yeah.
FaceTime for like an hour. We have not even said one word. Like it's just company there.
Yeah, it's just
That's
enjoying
cool.
someone's company.
I'm gonna try that out with my friends.
You should.
Yeah.
And it's so
Keep
weird.
a fucking eye out.
Exactly.
It's weird when I FaceTime other people and I'm like I forget it's not like Julie. Like I can't just bother them. And like some people, like my sister, like she doesn't like to be on FaceTime and not say anything. And I'm like, well, to me, like I don't really care.
That's just normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll be on FaceTime with other people and like they just keep talking and talking and talking.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, okay, I get it.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you can just relax.
Yeah,
and
relax.
enjoy the company. Like
Yeah. And you would
Yeah.
think too, you spend so much time with a person, like, don't you start to get like
Yeah,
annoyed of
or
them
tired
or like
or anything like
tired?
that. Mhm.
No, I don't. We
we
don't
have
know
like gone out of town too. I think
Yeah.
we just know our
our boundaries.
yeah.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
think it helps so much that we have a lot of the same just problems. So
Yeah.
we relate to each other and we can like just help each other.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
fun. I the closest thing I have to that is when I moved out, I moved into an apartment with my best friend. And I was like, there's gonna be problems, like, but be ready for them, like, let's go, like, whatever
Mhm.
happens. Nothing, like, smooth sailing. Like, really, we were sharing this room for like almost a year, and then afterwards we got an apartment together, and I felt worlds apart because now we each had our own rooms. Before we were sharing a room, 2 beds in there, like he had his part of the closet, I had my part of the closet. Nothing. It was like smooth, and it was cool because you like a lot of the stuff that I was just doing my regular day by myself. Now I was just doing it with him. And like it didn't matter if we came home and just sat down and just started watching TV and we were just like there, not talking, not saying anything for hours. So I feel like that's just like, in a way, that's just you guys spending time together. You know what I mean? Whether it's like through a phone call or whatever, like you're just spending time together. So you just get comfortable in those in between moments.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely people who I hang out with a lot, but I don't hang out with you when I'm chilling at home, just relaxing, not doing anything. Like you don't know what it's like to hang out with me when I'm not doing anything, because when we
Yeah.
hang out, we're doing something.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like the first one that I was just like literally, aside from my brother, I guess, was the first person that, and it grew like our chemistry. Like we became closer friends and stuff like that. But I can't say that we FaceTime each other that often. Right now he's actually in Okinawa and we like text like barely. But when we text, it's like, oh, I miss you, bro. Like, or whatever he's doing.
Well, I don't think we say we miss each other.
I tell
I'll
him
just
that I
be
miss
like,
him.
this is my last straw. Like every time I'm texting, I'm like, this is it. I'm done. I'm just rampaging.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just so important to have like platonic friendships like that.
It
Yeah.
means everything.
It
Like I would have
is.
never traded our relationship for like anything.
Yeah,
Because
me neither.
Julie has always been there. Like guys have let me down, other people have let me down, but Julie has always literally been there. Like if I needed somewhere to go, you would come. Even if it was like a fancy dinner like type of thing, you would go. Like
That's cool.
and I'm like, and for my birthday, it's like I don't even need a boyfriend. Like you go all out. Like my friends, I'm so lucky. Like they will go all out.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, I don't need like a boyfriend if I have these like amazing friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like drama involved. Like
No. And
So it's
that's
fun.
like, yeah, like that's why it's like so, I feel like it's just so important to have these like platonic friendships with people. because
100%.
I mean, like between like me and Jen, like there's no competition. I'm not like, oh, like I need to be better than her. Like I need to be this. It's like I want Jen to like always like succeed and to always be better than me.
Yeah.
Like I find it so weird that like friends will feel the need to like compete against each other and like, you know, just feel so weird about certain things like that. Like don't you want to see your friend like become like the best versions of themselves that they could possibly be? And just also like when it comes to like relationships with like significant others and stuff, it's obviously important to like obviously spend, you know, your time with them.
Yeah.
That's your
Yeah,
significant
100%.
other.
Yeah.
But then I feel like when you get too wrapped into it, you start to like lose
Yeah.
sight of like these different friendships. But you need that though.
Yeah.
Like you need time to have to yourself, a life that you could like call your
Yeah.
own, and you need to have your own friendships, because that's
Yeah.
so important. Yes, your significant other is going to understand you in ways somebody else couldn't,
Mm-hmm.
but you can also have that relationship with a friend where
Yeah.
they could also understand you. Because what are you going to do when you have no friends? Your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever is just annoying the shit out of you. Well, you're just going to be sitting there like angry, and then they're going to like, I'm going out with my friends, and you're just sitting there just pissed, alone.
Yeah.
and
you
annoyed.
definitely need like your own life.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It definitely feel like it has like higher my standards for like guys, because I'm like, for my birthday, like Julie brought over so many things. She got us like matching rings, like a bunch of balloons around my house, a cake. Like her parents brought me like a gift too. Like it was just like so much. And I'm like, if you're not coming to my life with this energy, like I have my friends who will. Like my other friend got me like a whole bouquet of flowers. I'm like, so guys, like need the same
Yeah.
energy.
yeah.
Because I already have it. So
Yeah.
either you're going to add more or you got to go.
I 100% agree with everything that you guys are saying. I think you hit it on the nose when you said that. Like, oh man, I used to think that that's what it was like. That you couldn't have like a friendship that was just like always good, like always energizing.
Mhm.
But you can, and it takes like vulnerability, and it takes somebody to connect with that's gonna match your energy and stuff like that.
Mhm.
You're right. I have met a lot of friend groups that weren't like very supportive and kind of, I mean, weird and toxic in some ways. And I was like, then why the fuck are we hanging out, bro? Like,
Yeah.
why are we doing this? Like, why are we here if you're not having a good time? Why am I here?
And you know where we see that with your sister? I don't know if I
Yes.
can
You
even
don't know,
say
say
this.
it, because I tell it all the time.
I'm like, we see that with like your sister friend group where it's like they talk behind each other's back, like, oh, she's such a bitch. Like, and I would have never said that about Julie. Like,
Never in my life would I have ever told you that.
You know what I
Yeah.
think it is? I think it's just this is what people kind of like see and get into. Like, they just think that that's what I was trying to say. Like, I thought that just was a part of being in a friendship, being in a friend group and stuff like that. When it doesn't actually have to be that way at all. You can be
No.
supportive. It takes a little time to learn, but it humbles you as a person. You know what I mean?
and also like life is already, me and Julie talked about this too. And we were like, and this, I think we were talking more about like significant others, but we were also talking about friends. Like, life is already so hard. If you're like hanging around people who are constantly bringing you down, or like just saying weird, like just names calling you, or just like talking about your appearance, or like bringing you down, it's like, what's the point? Like, my life is already hard. And then
And
like,
you're making it worse.
yeah, and I'm like, I don't want to hang around someone that's like
So
bringing me
negative.
down. Yeah, bringing me down. Like
Yeah.
talking about my, like, no, like I already have like to do with that at work.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like,
or just to myself, like sometimes you're just like hard on yourself
Mhm.
too.
yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be around that. Like, literally.
That's
So-
that's one of the things that's what I was like, oh, that's so cool that you guys have been friends for so long, and I'm glad that it's like actually as good as I imagined it being. Because I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, dude, there was so much shit that I was going through when I was like a kid or just growing up or whatever, even in college and stuff, that I was like, I wish I had like a lifelong best friend that could like help me out with this shit. You know what I mean? Like, help me just make things easier and give me some energy. You know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
so draining, not so demanding and stuff like that. I don't have to watch my back or do any of that stuff. Like, we're and the thing is that everybody was going through shit.
Yeah.
All of us were.
Yeah.
We just weren't like
Sharing it.
sharing it and being helpful with each other about it. And don't get me wrong, like the friends that learned how to are the friends that stayed with me, that I kept hanging out with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there was some point where I was like, dude, I can't do this. So peace. But you see, I feel like that's what's hard for a lot of people at first, is to say, nah, I'm out. I'd rather be alone than like with this. I feel like
Yeah.
it's a lot of people would just rather not be alone.
Exactly.
So they
And-
stay in that shit
Yeah.
because they think that, okay, that this is it. Like, this is who the people that I'm not going to go hang out with somebody else. Like, who else?
Could
I
I
go?
go with?
And
yeah.
that's another thing of when you said that, like, I think that the healthiest like relationships are when people we've talked about this, when
Mhm.
people have healthy activities and friendships outside of the relationship
Yeah.
that energizes you. Like, it doesn't mean that like, if anything, you bring more as a person. You want to be two people, not a half of one person, because
right.
then there's a lot of like unspoken like reliability or reliance on each other, and then you like, it limits you to doing things and to acting in different ways.
Mhm.
you gotta maybe put up with some stuff that you wouldn't regularly put up with because you know that there's nowhere else you can go. Like
yeah.
if this
And
person leaves
then-
right now, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Well, and then me and Julia talk about this all the time, where we had like broken off like some stuff, and we were like alone. We were together, but like alone. Me and Julie had each other, but like we were alone, and like there was a period of time where like we just were not getting any type of guys, like literally anything. And I feel like it's so important to have like a period in your life. Like I'm sure I'm gonna have another period in my life, but like recently, to just be alone.
Yeah.
Like it's so hard.
Mm-hmm.
I know it gets like so boring, but then like you realize like, you know what? I'm fine. And then it like raises your standards. Like if you're gonna bring in my life and just cause drama, like I've been alone. Like
yeah.
I've
Exactly.
been just fine alone. Like
yeah.
so
yeah.
you leave, you leave.
Yeah.
And like you're not having to stick around. So I was even telling this to my sister, like, because I was just telling her about some guy stuff, and I was like, but you know what? Like I've been alone. Like if they leave, like I've made it out.
100%.
Like,
That's
yeah.
that's a
Fine.
that's a very important thing, and that's what I was talking about when like people that haven't like that are relying like they're relying on things that they don't even know that they're relying on. So
Yeah.
for somebody who hasn't never like processed their own emotions and like their own things and been through a situation that was bad by themselves and
Mhm.
learned that like, okay, I don't like feeling this way, but guess what? We made it through the fucking night.
Yeah.
That thought of like being alone and having to go through all that is way worse because you
Yeah.
literally haven't, and you've just postponed it so much,
Yes.
postponed it so long. Because at this point, it's like, all right, bro, if I'm showing up to this I've had times where like I showed up to a place and the energy was just weird and vibey, like non-vibey, like I gotta prove myself who I am and what the fuck my intentions are, and I'm like, okay, like I could just go home right now, or I could go to a bar by myself, have a beer, watch a game, and chill. I don't
Yeah.
have to be here.
Yeah.
I'm putting this energy in because I thought that maybe it was gonna pay out pretty well, but I don't want to come into a place and have to explain myself or my intentions when all I'm doing is like sipping and hanging out with you guys. Like that's so
Yeah.
weird
Yeah.
and challenging and stuff. Like why do I gotta be here
Yeah.
wasting this energy in a bad way when I could be wasting it in a very good fucking way?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I think, and a lot of people do not know how to be alone.
No.
No.
Like, They don't. And I'm like, you need to just process things sometimes. And I'm like, and now I feel like we've dealt with things, and in the future, I'm like just feel more secure. I think in myself as too. I'm like, okay, I can get over it because I've done these things alone. I've obviously had like Julie and my family,
Mm-hmm.
but like relying on someone, like I can get over it because I've done these other things.
yeah.
Like I picked myself back up. It's gonna be fine,
yeah.
and I don't need to hang around anyone who's
Yeah.
bringing me down.
100%.
And, like it completely changed my perspective. I feel
No,
like.
I you're speaking songs right now because I'm understanding everything that you're
Yeah.
saying, and it's
Well,
cool.
Yeah.
I feel like even that's what makes this relationship so like, or this friendship so powerful, because you know what it's like. You know what I mean? Like you can relate, you understand. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be fucking like, why am I gonna be projecting stuff to you? I'm gonna feel weird projecting my anger towards you
Yeah.
because I know that that's
That's
not
And
what
also like
works.
another thing is like come into my life, like friend or not, but like it's like you also need to be doing the work to like heal yourself. Like I would have never wanted to come into someone's life the way I was like 6 months ago and project all these like problems
Yeah.
I was having.
Yeah.
I would have never done that. And I was like, I need to, like, it was just like to a point last year, I was like, I need to fix my life. Like, I hate the way I'm living right now. And like, I can't put this on anyone else.
yeah, 100%.
Like,
yeah.
I need to come somewhat healed. But Julie, like, she helps me in some ways. But I don't want to like pressure her to
Yeah.
like help. Like, I don't know. You need to learn how to somewhat like heal yourself.
Yeah.
And you come in and like, you have people there to support you, but you need
Yeah.
to take some type of initiative.
To do it on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And even in that, like, I was just thinking about that too. Like, when we, like, I guess when I mean, like, be alone, it doesn't always mean, like, you can't rely on other people.
Yeah.
It's just, you're not just dumping your whole
Everything onto-
everything,
yeah.
you know what I mean? You're keeping it constructive, and that helps these other people. Because, for example, even when you said that, like, the best thing that you can do for other people is to just learn how to take things into your own hands and like be constructive, right? I can come at you with a problem of like, this happened, what the fuck, like whatever. Or I can be like, hey Julie, like I need your help with this and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
gives me some more instruction to like, okay, we're doing this, we're working, but
Yeah.
you're progressively working to get
yeah,
better.
and
You're in a
just putting
place,
in the work.
Yeah.
I'm helping you out instead of
Mhm.
like, here, deal with this shit that I got going on.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And it's just a lot easier for that person, whatever it is that you're telling them, like it's a lot easier for them to take it in themselves. Because if it's like, oh, I'm having, you know, a nice day just eating my lunch, and then you come up to me and you're like saying all these like different things, going like 1,000
Yeah.
miles an hour, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like my mom would always tell me that I would do that when I was a little kid, and she would just say like I had a stutter when I
Yeah.
was little, and she would always tell me, think about what you're about to say and just slow down. Just
Yeah.
slow down. Get whatever it is, like form the sentence in your head,
Yeah.
and then come back to me when you're ready to talk,
Mhm.
because I can't understand
Yeah.
you with whatever it is.
I
that
don't
you're
even know where to
saying.
start. Yeah.
Exactly. And I
Mhm.
think that a lot of people just become so reliant on like
Yeah.
when it comes to like relationships, like non-platonic relationships, they
Mhm.
become so reliant on this person to just
Yeah.
like take all of this
Yeah.
different stuff, all this different baggage. And then once you take, because I've experienced it, because like, but it took this breakup for me to understand that I can't be like that towards
Uh-huh.
people, because once you take that away, you're literally left with nothing.
Yeah.
You're left with absolutely
Yeah.
nothing. Like if you push your friendships away, you're left with nothing. You haven't been hanging out with your family as much. You don't even know what you like. People will come at like ask you, what are your hobbies? What do you like? I don't know,
yeah.
because I only hung out with this guy.
Yeah.
Like that was my hobby.
Yeah. I've seen that so much. Yeah.
And so yeah, like it took that person
Mhm.
leaving my life for me to finally understand, okay, like I think I also like need to get like my life together.
Mhm.
And
And
that's what people
it's-
need to do.
Exactly. It's tough, right? Like it's weird. It's uncomfortable, but that's the price you pay for growth. Like
Mhm.
because you come out a little bit wiser off the deep end, but I guess the going through it part is
Yeah.
the scariest
And
part.
it's not
Yeah.
going to be like an overnight process. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people think like, I'm down forever. Like,
Yeah.
no, in like a few months, you may be better, and then you may get worse, but then you'll get better. Like,
Yeah.
it will always, it's like just up and
Yeah,
down. That's
uh-huh.
just life,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
The best way that it was explained to me was that, like, you don't like, you just increase your capacity to
Take
feel,
in
to take in
things.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's like you first, your cup is like really small, so any small
Mhm.
portion in is gonna fill it up.
Mhm.
But afterwards, you just realize that like you start
The-
growing as
yeah,
a
the
person.
cup
You
gets
get more
bigger.
experiences and stuff like that. I think that like for example, I remember when I was involved in a bunch of different shit. I still am, but I used to be way more like just any organization that came up to me or person that needed something, I was there. And I would make commitments. Like I was fucking playing flag football. Like I've never played football in my fucking life. And I had like 2 jobs, school, and then like 2 other organizations. And then I still want to go play fucking flag football, right? But it was honestly like people would notice. Like people would be like I would show up somewhere and like get this fucking bad energy. I'd be like, all right, bro, like I'm leaving. I'm gonna go because if I'm not doing something here, there's like
Other
12 people that are
stuff.
texting me right now that they
Yeah.
need something.
Yeah.
So I was like, but hey, so
Let me
you're
know.
being an asshole, like, or you're being a dick. I'm fucking out. I'm leaving. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But now, like, so now people know, like, don't just kind of do stuff like that. You know, like
Yeah.
if we're showing up, we're hanging out, we're having a good time because I'm showing up with a positive energy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I kind of like monopolized that conversation a little bit. But
No,
No.
I think it definitely helps to like have your own things that you can do, you know? 'Cause yeah, when you just like rely on someone else to like entertain me right now, and then they're like, well, I have other things that I need
what a
to be
shitty
doing.
fucking thing to not only do
Yeah.
to somebody, but also like what a shitty thing to do to, because you're doing it to yourself.
Yeah.
You're really like, you're the one that's gonna be left here when everybody else has
Is
shit to do
growing.
and is gone, and you know, like you gotta set yourself up for success.
Mhm.
I guess it's just kind of hard to see it when you've always been in it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like a fish
Yeah.
in water. You just, that's what I was saying, is like you just think that this is the way that it is and that it can't get any
Yeah.
better. Sorry, my mic keeps.
Which
Yeah.
is so sucky. Like,
Yeah.
you really think so? I don't know. But I think people do have like a short, like, they think you're gonna get better overnight. No, like there's
No.
some nights where I'm still like,
it still
Damn.
sucks.
yeah,
Yeah.
where I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
damn. But I'm like, I wake up the next morning
Yeah.
and get the day going.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like it just experience, I guess, builds the confidence,
Mhm.
because then you can be like, all right, like this is shitty, but I've been through it before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got over
I got
it.
through
I'll
it,
get over it
whatever.
again.
You're gonna get back up.
There's
Yeah.
even times when I'm like, wow, this one's like not as bad as like
I
The
thought it was
other-
gonna be.
like the past 2 ones are really bad, and this
Yeah.
one's like kind of like all right.
I got it. Learn
Yeah.
about it, yeah.
I feel like that's an important thing to communicate to other people, because in the way that we're saying this right now and we relate to it, I feel like a lot of people will relate to it too. I just would hate for people, like, because I used to be the same way. Like, when I figured out, okay, we're all going through shit, let's talk about it, it's a lot better and it's a lot easier. I tried like helping everybody and be like, hey bro, like, you're having all these problems that I know 20 other guys are having too. I told them this because I went through it the same way, and they worked their ways like out of it. It helped them or like whatever. But at the same time, I'm only one guy, and that's draining as fuck. You know what I mean? So I started picking my battles. Like, I'm just like, there's only a selective group. I can't save the world. I can't teach everybody everything.
Yeah.
And like, I'm sorry, but some people do get left out. But I mean, I learned it the hard way. You know what I mean? Like, you have to learn it too.
Yeah, that's all it is just learning how to deal with things on your own. Like, life is going to suck and it's going to hurt so bad sometimes, certain things. But then once you get through that and you're like, it wasn't as bad as I thought it could have been.
Yeah.
And
I do feel like you're just packing yourself a bigger punch if you just put it out. Like, put it for later.
Yes, and then you know what I was thinking the other night? Like, I was just like sitting in bed, like alone, like I was on FaceTime with Julie, and I was like, you know, it's such like a nice feeling to like finally like sit back and like nothing really bothers me. Yeah. And I'm like, I can go on social media, nothing's gonna like trigger me. Like, it's like just a good feeling to like.
It's like you're surfing the wave.
Yeah, and I'm like, nothing really bothers me right now. Like, no one's really like getting on my nerves. I'm not worried about like some guy that's like, I'm not like angry, and I'm just like, that's so.
It
like,
feels so nice.
Yeah, and I was like, a year ago it was like different, but I was just like, why wouldn't you want to like experience that? Like,
just experience
like peace.
Yeah,
like literally just like one like night of just like, wow, like I really never thought I was gonna get over that, and like here I am.
I'm completely over it.
Yeah, and like it's so nice. Like, also go on social media, you can see someone's post and you're not like,
you're not like, what the fuck, like shit like that. You're actually supportive and like,
and you're like, and I was like, damn, like this is a nice feeling.
It's just growth.
It's cool. It's like, I don't know, it's like neutral, but like it just increases your capacity for like the good shit. You know what I mean? Like, little shit doesn't trigger you anymore. You don't waste your energy on that anymore. Because you only have a certain amount. That's another thing. Like, you only have a certain amount of energy to do stuff. And if you're using it the wrong way, like, it's gonna burn you the fuck out. And I feel like some people have like been burnt out for a long time. That's why I was like, whenever I met people with new perspectives, or when I was talking about teachers and I met teachers who actually understood that they were dealing with fucking kids, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was just like breathing, because I was like, holy shit, like this guy's not like fucking I don't have to deal with something new. You know what I mean? We're really just here going through what the fuck we got to go through. And it's fun and it's cool, and it's, I don't know, it gives me so much energy to put myself out there in completely different ways. You know what I mean? Now I'm fucking recording shit. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing this if I was burnt the fuck out. So to the good friendships, I guess. You see, I knew there was a lot of material in there.
How fun. I'm so happy, and I'm so thankful.
Have you guys ever dated another set of best friends?
How did you know?
It was like, we didn't know though.
We had no idea.
Yeah, until
they were
later.
best
and they were like,
friends.
we're also best friends. And we were like, wow.
Really?
And we thought, oh, wow, like, this is so cool. Like, this is such a good idea. Not a good idea at all.
I don't think, have I ever? No, I don't think I've ever. Well, it's because I don't think I've ever had.
It was so weird. Like, I'm telling you, we did not know that they were best friends.
They didn't tell you?
No. Maybe they weren't. Like, guys are like, I feel like are different. Like, they don't call each other like how we do.
Yeah.
But they were like, yeah, like we've known each other for like ever. And we were like, really? And they were like, yeah, like let's go on a double date sometime. Like, we've known each other like since we were little. And we were like, wow.
Well, you guys never talked about each other, so I had like
yeah,
no
like,
idea.
They never talked about each other. They didn't like ever like have pictures like on Instagram, like, hey, with my buddy. Like, no.
With my buddy.
My buddy. Taking it back.
The next time you post a picture on Instagram with your friends, put with my buddy.
With my buddy, yeah. 100%.
Well, I don't know what guys do. Like, I'm just like assuming like with my
we're just guys. We're just people.
With my pal.
I don't know
hanging.
Just guys been dudes.
I was a guy. I would say with my buddies.
Yeah. With my pal.
How was that? How was that dating in a group? How were they best friends like you guys were? Because I doubt it.
I don't, but they've known each other for a really long time, since they were like little.
Yeah, they know each other a little bit longer than we had.
But I think we were just like more like connected.
Yeah,
like
more emotionally connected,
Okay.
for sure. I mean, yeah.
Cool.
But I mean,
that was not good for me.
It was definitely not good for either of us, just because like one guy would like my boyfriend at the time would be telling me one thing that like her boyfriend was like telling him about Jen, and then she would say something about him that her boyfriend had said about me.
It's just
Like
miscommunication.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was so much
wow.
of thing, just certain things
And then
like that.
okay, but then I realized I was like, if you want to talk to a guy, you have to know his friends, because you will never know who a real guy is without his friends.
Yeah.
Because his friends are gonna be like, yeah, he fucks all these bitches. Like, and like, yeah, he like fucked this bitch last night. Like, you'll never
Yeah.
know if you're not friends with his friend.
Yeah, because you guys
But-
are sneaky. You guys
and
will
then-
keep all
but
of each other's
sometimes
secrets.
It's good to like not know. Like, sometimes I'd rather just not get my feelings hurt. So I'm like, I'd rather not know your friends, but I want to know the type of guy you really are.
Yeah, because obviously, like your friends like reflect who you are as a person.
Yeah, 100. No, I 100% agree with you. I don't know. It's because look,
We left
I
you
don't wanna-
speechless.
I don't want to reveal too many secrets, but
No, I need
I
to
have-
know the secret.
I have met like friends like that do shit and say shit like that. But
Well, what's wrong with saying if that's what happened? That's what happened. Maybe you shouldn't have done it. Like,
maybe.
maybe you shouldn't have fucked a bitch last Saturday night and then told your friend, because your friend's gonna tell me. So
The thing is that like that's kind of like in a way, I don't know. It depends on the friend group, because like my friends, we've never really liked shit like that. Like just because, selfishly for us, I don't want to have to lie to people. I don't want to have to lie to anybody. I don't want to have to do that shit. I don't want to have to be like facing you when I know what I know. So we've always, or at least me and my friends, we've always been like, okay, bro, if you do something, okay, you fucked up, whatever. But how are you gonna proceed? Like if you're, let's say, figuratively, if you have a girlfriend, and to this other function you pull up with a different girl that we know that you guys have a thing. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna take it. We're not gonna be rude or anything. It's
But
your
would-
fucking business.
but would you say something to his other girlfriend?
No. Well, here's the thing. I wouldn't know. But because it's not
But
my.
what if you're friends with his girlfriend?
What if I'm friends with his girlfriend?
Like you guys like met because of you, like you guys like introduced each other, like you've known her for a while, and you're like, hey, like let me meet my friend.
Oh, so that's what I'm saying. Like I would be like, how are you like? Oh, God damn it! How are you proceeding with this? Like, for example, let's say that he's talking to a girl and I'm friends with her. He has a girlfriend and I'm friends with her. Then to this other place he pulls up with a different girl, and he just keeps doing that. Like just keeps bringing this girl often, day after, like week after week. I'm like, no, bro, like I don't do that shit. Like I gotta, on Thursday you had your girlfriend and I had to talk to her and I had to like be friends with her,
Lie
like
to
whatever.
her.
Yeah, I had to lie to her basically.
Yeah.
If you do it once, okay, whatever, figure it out. Either break up with your other girlfriend or whatever, stop doing this one. Like whatever. That's whatever's convenient for me, selfishly, because
And yeah.
I'm not gonna be lying for you. I'm not gonna be doing this. I'm not gonna do all that stuff. Like you, as a good friend, wouldn't make me do this shit. I would never make you
That's
do
true.
something like that. So don't do it to me because it's very uncomfortable. Now, I will say my group of friends is pretty evolved from most of the stuff that I've seen, but I would generally, usually don't say anything. But
yeah.
but also it's just because it's not your place. Like I don't know. Like how could I go up to somebody? I feel like I wouldn't even be received like in a well way. Like
I
I'd be
don't think
received
I
with
would
like,
go
what the
up
fuck? Like
either.
what are you saying and shit like
But
that.
like, let's say like Julie and I introduced a guy to Julie, and I know that he was like messing around with other girls. I would definitely make it clear to Julie, like, hey,
He's a little bit of a hoe. Just
Yeah.
make sure that you
100%.
like, keep that in
Right.
100%.
stride. Yeah.
I've had girls that I date, like my female friends, tell me like fucking if you do anything, like I'm telling her right away. Like by the time that they're like friends on Instagram, she's like, stop fucking around, like stop doing whatever the fuck you're doing.
around.
Not fucking around like that, just like
Yeah.
stop being stupid, like don't be
Yeah.
weird or anything, like because they have her back before they have mine, I guess. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like a girl thing, I
Yeah,
guess.
they
girl
relate.
code.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they relate.
exactly.
Sure, Goku.
Go.
And then you guys tear each other apart afterwards. But whatever.
No, what do you? I mean, like if it were like Jen was like bringing like another guy and she had a boyfriend,
We talked
he
about
would.
this
It's because it's different with like me and Jen.
with
though.
me and Jen, with me and Julie. We were like, oh, would we tell like if we were cheating on someone? I would automatically say like, well, what did the other guy do that made you cheat?
So
Yeah.
Like I would have never defended this other guy.
Me neither.
yeah, 100%. Like
Julie has a problem with defending guys.
I do. I never defend any man.
No, you do.
Oh, I always defend every man. I
Like
have a
at least every
problem.
guy in my situation, she's like, give him the benefit of the doubt. Like you don't know if this guy, and I'm like, Julie, it's obvious that like.
But I think I have
Just
a
give him one
problem
more
with
chance. And I'm like,
because I I'm like no, like he's a good person. I think that's like my problem though. Is like I think I like to see like the
the good in
the
people.
good in
You like to give
people.
them a chance and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Which isn't necessarily a bad trait, but definitely
to
takes a
a
toll on
certain
you.
extent, I'm like, okay, obviously
Now we're just pushing
this
it.
happened. We don't need to make excuses for this guy. Like,
Maybe like if it's like some guy and she's like, oh yeah, like I saw him like posing with another girl, they were kissing. I
Julie will
probably
be
would have been like,
well,
maybe that was his sister.
like literally, we were at the mall, and this guy I knew was holding hands with another girl. So I was like, well, maybe like his sister like gets lost a lot around the mall. Like, you want to keep him close? And I was like, Julie, I don't think so. Like, I really don't think so, Julie. Like, I don't think he's holding hands with another girl at the mall because his sister gets lost.
You never know.
In my experience,
There's
though,
a
it's
slim chance.
in my experience, it's usually mostly girls who keep the secrets. Because
Not really.
because I feel like we're stupid as fuck. Like we're dumb as fuck, and there's really no clever way out of your guys' like web of abilities to get the truth out of people.
But like I feel like guys will do their absolute best to still try to like keep up with like lies
Keep
to the
up with-
point where it's like
Or
okay,
to make
now
their
you're
homeboys
stupid.
seem like an actual like good guy.
Yeah.
Ah,
It's
okay.
like, okay, no,
yeah,
you guys
I do
aren't.
do
No,
believe
like
that.
my,
Yeah.
my man would never do that. Like
He's not the kind of guy. I
yeah,
know him.
I know him like that. He would never do that.
Yeah. And then it's
Wow.
like then he turns around and he's actually doing that.
It's like, okay.
That's so funny because so many stories come to mind, but
That's not good. That's not good.
but I would say it's been like 50-50. I have a lot of female friends and they do shit too.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, you
But
know.
like,
But guys do it more.
I don't think so. I think it's like the same thing.
I don't know. I really like, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know either. I guess it's just like in our experience, like with different guys, maybe that's our problem is like different guys constantly.
You know,
just tearing
I've
us
always
down.
met the extremes because with me, it's always been like the opposite way. For me, it's usually like my friends get cheated on by like
Damn.
the girl that they're dating.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's mostly that than them cheating like on their girlfriends. But that's been my experience. But
I
then
have the
obviously I
opposite.
can talk to you guys and you guys have a completely different
But I feel
experience.
like the guy could be like not mentioning a part of the story.
That's another important thing too. And
Like-
that's something that's pissed me the fuck off when like you're coming over here and you're telling me this shit and I'm like, okay, I'm your boy, I got you. Then later on I find out like this other fucking thing and I'm like,
That
oh.
he's like fucked another bitch and he's like, why did you cheat on me? When he like
Yeah.
actually cheated first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like
Like,
that, and I'm like, all right.
it's so
That's why I
dumb.
just don't defend people anymore. I don't stick my fucking neck out for anybody. Like I get the facts before anything, and most importantly, I don't get involved. It's not my fucking problem anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's really
Yeah.
not. If I'm tied in here for some reason, okay, we're going, and I'm gonna support you or whatever. But even if I know that you're lying, I'm gonna support you. But don't think that this is like a thing that I'm just doing every single time. I'm doing this to get out of this. Then when I'm out, I'm out. Like I'm not
Yeah.
fucking doing this every weekend.
I feel like I would just try not to get involved.
Yeah, like I like back to what we were saying. If Jen had ever like cheated on her boyfriend, done something shady like that, I would have said the same. What did you do to make her cheat on you? Like what? Like you were obviously the like it's so probably, like, so toxic. But it's like I will defend her with my life. Like
No,
she,
like anytime one
Why are you getting
guy,
cheated on, bro?
like it's so weird. Like you will defend every guy, and then I want to say when we went to that guy's house and that car was there. Okay, we went to some guy's house, and I was like, I just want to see if this girl's there.
Yeah.
And like a little Mini Cooper type thing was pulled up in his driveway, and I was like, okay, like obviously, like.
Yeah.
But there was construction at his house, and Julie was like, well, maybe like the construction guy just left his car there, and I was like, Julie, it's a Mini Cooper. It's a Mini Cooper. I don't think a construction guy is taking his Mini Cooper on the job and like parking up in the driveway, staying overnight. And Julie's like, no, like the construction worker left his car there, and I'm like, Julie, it's okay. Like,
it's thing is, I don't want to see her get her feelings hurt.
Yeah.
I want to
But
like
I'm like,
prevent
really,
her from the
Julie?
truth.
Yeah, the construction worker with the Mini Cooper that drove to work pulled up in his driveway, staying
You
the
never
night.
know.
You never know.
You never know. Sometimes and I was telling her like during like that whole like car ride covered like conversation, Joe was like, people do construction in my house and they leave their car there
But
overnight.
it's a truck. Half the time, it's a truck, and it's not a little Mini Cooper.
You'd be surprised what a Mini Cooper could hold in the back.
Okay. Like literally, I was like, why are you defending this guy? Like,
I just don't want to see her get hurt. That I always like try to
I
give these
wasn't
people the
hurt.
benefit of the
Yeah.
doubt.
I was just curious. Okay, I guess I could say I was a little hurt, but like,
I wonder
was
if I
like-
wonder if any girl has ever like driven by my house to see what the.
probably
1,000%.
Yes. No way.
Yeah.
1,000%.
No.
If they
Me
Me
know
and
where you
Julie have
live.
too many stories. We have problems. Like,
But the thing is like every girl does it though. Like my sisters would do the same thing too with their friends.
Really?
Every girl does it. There's this
Huh.
my favorite story of this guy that I was dating. Well, not really dating. I guess like we went on like a couple of dates. I don't know if you would like
Yeah.
consider that dating. And so we were like, and this is like Jen's friend too. So like we had like, oh, like let's go like drive by. his house.
Okay, go on with the story. I really
Okay.
don't know who.
And so we're like, oh, like let's go drive by his house. So we do. This is like at night, and
Oh, I think I know. Sorry.
you have to do it at night. The girls, you do it at night, so
Okay.
no one can see like
Okay.
what kind of car it is,
Okay.
like who it is,
Perfect,
who's in the car.
perfect, perfect.
And so we're like driving by the car, and like where he lives, there's a bunch of speed bumps.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
And so
He
we're
was outside of his house and he saw us driving up and Julie was like, sorry, you should have finished this story. But Julie was like, no. She puts the car in reverse. We're going speed bump after speed bump after speed bump.
but he stopped in his tracks. So and he's been in my car.
Yeah.
So when I like saw that he was there, he was walking his dog. He stopped in his tracks.
Yeah,
he saw
he
the
was
car and
like-
he was kind of like staring. And I was like, oh my God, because if I were to pass by him, he would have seen that I was there because I would have to go through a speed bump that he
Yeah.
There
was
was at
standing
least
next
like
to.
20 speed. Like, I don't know what happened, but like every like a couple feet, there was a speed bump.
Yeah,
Like, it was ridiculous.
What if he did that because too many girls were driving by his house? To, like,
probably.
I think someone put a complaint. Too many people were speeding, and then I don't think that was enough. And then they
Uh-huh.
did it again, like added more speed bumps.
Wow.
Like if you saw the neighborhood, you'd be like, "This is ridiculous. Like there's no need there to speed." Like,
So this guy sees you reverse, but you're on the lane to go forward, and
forward, and I just
you just reverse.
I just put in reverse and I speed like I just started
and we're
speeding
literally in
backwards.
the car, like going backwards, speed bump after speed bump. And I was like dying laughing because I was like, "This is the funniest thing."
But to me, it was not funny.
Because we saw him, and I was like, "He's right there. He's walking his."
He was
dog."
walking his
He was
dog.
walking his dog.
I think his
Wow.
dog needed to like go pee, and he would go out at night to like let his dog pee. And we saw
Yeah.
him.
And to this day, I'm not sure if he knew that it was me. I don't know.
I don't
I
think
mean, he
so.
will after he
He
watches
would've-
this podcast.
Like we were pretty close. Like he would have told me, I think.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm glad he
Like,
didn't.
why the fuck are you driving by my fucking house?
yeah.
Is that like we have so many stories? Like that one time we went to that guy's work, and we waited. We waited, and we didn't know what car he drove because he was always driving like different. Well, we didn't know what car he was driving, and we were like there, and we're like, we'll just wait 5 minutes, and he got out of work, and we were able to like follow him for a little bit.
What the fuck?
Like we meet at the perfect time. We're
Yeah.
like 5 minutes, and Julie was like, "Let me go in and see if he's there." And I was like, "Okay." Julie goes in. He's like, "Yeah, he's working." And I thought like he has like a few hours left in his shift. No, 5 minutes later, we see him. He's taking off his shirt from work and he's leaving. And we were like, "We need to follow him."
But he was parked right next to us too, and we were
We were
sitting
like
up.
Oh
we
no!
were literally like, we put back the seats and we were like, "Did he leave?"
We were
That's
scared for our life.
insane.
We sound like stalkers, I know.
No, but like in a fun way.
But in a fun way. We're not like,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna leave a note on his door and like tell him to call me back. Like, no, it was never
No,
like
it
that.
was-
So
Like,
that,
I think
but
we were
that's
just
why you
bored.
would. That's why you did it though, because he didn't call you back.
No, okay. It's not that he didn't call me back. It's just that like when like you're a girl and you're dating someone or you're talking to someone, texting him, you just want to see what they're up to.
Okay.
Just want to like drive by.
And
their
like
house.
I feel like it is kind of toxic though. But like I don't do it in the sense of like we're just bored.
yeah.
And we're like, "Hey, let's go see if X, Y, and Z is there."
Yeah, like don't
Yeah.
don't flatter yourself either.
Yeah, like this,
Okay,
these
that makes
guys.
sense.
The guy with the work, we talked once.
Yeah.
Like he was a hoe. Like he didn't even hide it.
Okay.
So yeah, but we have.
That
There's
sucks.
one other story where I'm like, it was so. like funny. I don't know. I forgot the story though.
We've done it so many times that I can't even remember. Like,
But remember that Julie went in time with this other guy from. She went into his work. She like recorded like the whole thing for me.
You recorded the whole thing?
Dude,
Like
I recorded
recorded,
the
voice
whole
recorder, or like phone?
no, with my
Recorded.
phone.
And he looked dead into the camera. And it was so funny. Like we just like took his. It was just so funny. Like his face was like. It was just funny.
Scary. He
Wow,
was
what
scary.
a fun fucking time.
We sound so creepy, but we
we're
promise
not.
we're
Uh-huh.
not creepy.
But
That's
then
like
this
what every
one
creepy
time,
person says.
Like
We're
this
not creepy.
one time, I helped my friend stalk her ex-boyfriend, kind of boyfriend type of thing, and we did find out he was cheating. And I was like,
Oh,
"What?"
wow,
And
really?
She
That
got out of the
sucks.
car
Yeah.
and she's like, I'm gonna go up to him. I was like, no,
Yeah.
we need this. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know the next time. Like, you need to know. But
Yeah.
trust me, you can get a lot of information that.
Wow.
But if you're curious, you have to be okay with getting hurt.
Exactly.
That's part of the.
That's part of the thing. If you
Part of
want
the
to
bargain.
look,
You want to
you
look.
have to be prepared to get your feelings hurt.
Wow. Yeah, I guess I'm the
100%.
same way. I'm like, I'd rather not know. I'm like, oh.
You'd rather stay in the
whatever.
dark?
Yeah, I'd rather just like whatever. Is that a bad thing?
No,
Is
you
that a
have
bad
to
thing?
know. You have to know.
To some point, but
No,
you see, it's
certain
also like.
individuals, like there's certain individuals I really just don't care. But like
Yeah.
certain individuals, I would get hurt. Like
I guess-
Mini
Yeah.
Cooper kind of hurt. Cooper situation.
You know what? You want to know a story, and I want to know what you guys think about it. But I remember one time, and this popped in my head when you said like you guys were going to this guy's house, but then that story turned out way differently than I thought it was gonna turn out. But I remember one time, my best friend, when we were living in that apartment, he got a Tinder date, and she was like, I think 18, 19. We were 20, 21. And he told her like, she told him like, oh, I'm coming. Like, he was like, you can come to my apartment. And she was like, yeah, I'm down. And then she was like, I have a best friend. Like, do you have somebody to like talk to her?
That is so weird.
And then, so he told me, and I was like, bro, I was like, I mean, I'm here. I'm going to be here. Like,
It's like, why would she bring her best friend?
to a Tinder date? I don't know.
I know that's so
I know. I'm just like, Julie's there. Oh.
weird. Don't call me. Don't call me this
don't
time.
call me. Don't text me. Don't call me.
But like, they show up, and like, just these two girls showed up all the way to the apartment. We didn't go get them or anything. Showed up all the way to perfectly nice girls, like super cute girls, super nice. They were, one of them was from like Russia or something. Like, she had an accent, the one that he was talking to, and the other girl was like from Texas, but she wasn't from here. So they didn't know where the fuck the apartment was. They Googled it and everything. They went all the way up there, and we were hanging out. But obviously they were like 18, I think maybe even 17. Like, we weren't sure. So right off the bat, like, me and my boy were like,
No. this
like,
isn't
we're
gonna
not.
work.
This isn't like whatever. So we're just like, they didn't know how to like play beer pong or anything. Like, they were just like there. Like, they didn't. Obviously, we gave them drinks and stuff, but we were like, this is fucking insane, right? But they were cool. Like, we ended up having a really fun time. We just were showing them videos, music videos, and just literally just like a kickback with like, and like you're hanging out with your homies, and that's really what the night was. We even, some of our friends pulled up too, and we just kind of turned it into a party. But I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, we could have been some fucking like creepos,
Yeah,
like
killers,
creepos.
yeah.
Like, you don't know, like,
And
and
you
you're,
could have done a lot of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'm like, and you walked all the way up here, like,
No problem.
Yeah, no problem.
Taking
You're not
those
even-
drinks.
you're not even from here. Like, you don't know what the
Yeah.
fucking out. And like, afterwards, we were thinking about that shit. We're like, yeah, bro. Like, number one, like, we were just protecting ourselves. And number two, we're like, what the fuck, bro? I was like, I would like be iffy to do that if I was a guy. Like, to just like take you and let's go in a fucking foreign country to like this place. They had a zero problem with them, and they were also like not like ghetto or anything. They were like really like girls that were going to school, and they fucking they
That's
just
like
went through that
honestly
shit.
something I would do. I have a problem with like that kind of
Trusting
stuff.
people.
No, like I feel like I could just like would do anything.
Oh my god, yeah, you would.
Like I need to like be more cautious. Like I can't just be doing. Like, I need to be locking my doors. I never lock my doors. I never lock my front door. I never lock my car doors. Yeah, like
Too trusting.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was just me being like a little paranoid, because I'm always a little bit paranoid with stuff like that. But
But I have a question. It's like I've never used Tinder. I don't think Julie has that either. Like
I
that.
used it like during quarantine.
But it was like your name was like Coach. Like, it was
Damn.
not real.
It was
Incognito as fuck.
It was never a real thing.
Like no profile, like you were not trying to like actually find anyone. And like, is it like an actual dating app? Like you go and like try to find a significant other, or is it just like hookup scene?
So I've never had Tinder myself, but
Oh.
all of my friends have Tinder.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been around Tinder ever since I was like in high school, but I've never had it myself. But I don't know, like I guess it is. To me, I was like, if this is like a hookup app, like if it's well defined, use it. Like if you want it for hookups, use it for hookups. But I don't know. I think everybody just goes in there looking for something different, and because
You have to,
my
like,
friends.
communicate it, I
Yeah,
guess.
my friends have found girls in there that are like no hookups, like at all. Like if you're
Oh,
like just looking for
damn.
hookups, like don't swipe on me or anything like that. And they'll still swipe and they'll fucking just start having a conversation or anything like that. So it's different for everybody, I guess. But
I really thought it was just like mostly hookup type of scene. But
that's what I thought it was too at first. But then my friends who were actually just looking for
so
hookups.
like, how does that work? Like, let's say, oh, I just want to like hook up. Like, hey, like, let's meet. Thank you, face.
Well, I mean, if girls had any game, I guess it would go that way. But
Honestly,
they
I
don't.
don't have
So
game.
that's what I'm saying.
Like,
I don't have
really
game
don't.
either.
I don't need game.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. Yeah, that's another thing. Is you don't need game. You've never needed game. For me, because having game has always been awkward. I'm like really awkward when it comes to picking up girls. Yeah, 100%.
He says this all the time. I'm gonna say this into the camera. He says this all the time that he has like, I can't pull girls. I can't talk to them. Blah blah blah. If you have like a conversation with this guy, if you have a conversation with this guy, like I remember like, cause we like just like really started hanging out like a lot more.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, it was like when I like first worked at the union, he would just jokingly flirt with me all the time. And I'm like, really? Like you have problems picking up girls? I seriously doubt it. Cause you're also such like a good
Conversationalist,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Like so smooth, you know how to keep the conversation
But you see,
going.
that's like me already having like in like I can be funny and I can be like I don't know, charismatic, because like we're already in the same location in the same place area. But what I'm talking about is like DMing girls on like Instagram or like.
But it also made you different if you actually like someone and you're like, oh, like I really like them. I'm like nervous.
That's
like-
true.
Yeah, 100%. Like I just we know how to mask it a little bit better, I guess.
When
And
it's someone you really don't like care for, you're like cracking
a lot more
jokes left and
confident.
right. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
when it's somebody that's like a whatever thing. But you see, that's the thing. It's like I can do that kind of thing in person, but through text or like Tinder,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like I could never. Like I can't just be like. I would just be like, hey.
So you would say like you're like a dry texter then.
Yeah. Well.
I'm definitely a dry texter as well. Call me at the end
Yeah.
of the night. Let me know how your day was.
I actually appreciate that a lot more too.
Really?
I have one of my friends who calls me for everything. But it's because we do a lot of things together. So he's always calling me like, hey, this time or like whatever. And I appreciate it so much more than a text, because then
Yeah.
I have to like, I don't know, I can just answer right there. Literally, like just
Yeah.
answer right there. It's fine. It's cool. But I will say that I'm not gonna be calling girls. I'm not just gonna start FaceTiming girls through like Instagram and stuff like that. But
Oh well, for sure.
the reason that I say that is because, well, I'm sure you guys have met him, but there's guys that do. They shoot their shot like it's nothing. You know what I mean?
Hey,
They
every guy should shoot their shot. You never know.
You
know,
guys
it's like,
say
it's like
that-
a Pete Davidson Kim situation. Like, hey, if you're funny, mix don't matter. Like it does, but it's just like get bonus points.
The personality is
no,
like,
and I'm with that 100%. What I'm saying is, I guess, how many times is that authentic and how many times is that just to get the girl? You know what I mean?
that's
Oh.
true.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why, like, dude, I've seen these fucking guys turn a complete 180 once there's a girl around or talking to a girl or
I
something.
hate that.
They DM stuff that I've never even heard in their vocabulary. Yeah, there's a whole science to it. The way that you guys have a science to it. But the thing is, it's just a lot more rare with guys. Usually it's just a fucking shot, shoot, hit, yes or no. Very rarely will you meet the meticulous people who like will engineer.
Construct this whole thing.
But
Yeah.
like, yeah, sometimes it does get boring though when it's just constant. Hey,
Yeah.
hey. I'm like, oh, like every guy is like
Saying the
coming
same
here
thing.
with something else.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's that they don't know that. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
I'm
they're
letting
the
you know.
one guy. Now they know, and I feel like maybe they do know, but still, like, I don't know. And you're right. I guess there are bonus points for stuff like that. The thing is that you don't get to pick and choose the guys that hit on you randomly at like bars and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? Sometimes the more confident ones aren't necessarily the best looking ones, but that's because, for example, like
But if you're confident, I feel like it just makes up for it. Like, okay, because
Yeah.
there's like one guy I know, and he's very attractive, like attractive guy. Like he could be like on a magazine, blah blah blah. But he's just dumb in here, and I'm like, honestly, like you annoy me. Like I cannot go on a date with you. Like you're literally dense up here. Like you're annoying. You're a little kid. I think like. You're like a
Yeah.
little like baby. You're
Yeah.
cute to stare at.
Because
But,
they
like-
rely on their looks so much that
Well-
they feel like they don't need to have any game. Like you look at me and you're like, I'm hot. Like what else could
and
you
then
want
like
from
there's
me?
another guy who's like not that like crazy good looking, but he like is funny and it's just fun to hang around him, and it's like
Well, I'll tell you that
Different.
it goes both ways. Like, definitely, there's a lot of like, that sounds weird saying this, but a lot of girls out there that you go talk to them, and there's really not a lot of, because they're just pretty girls that are used to just like they don't have to do anything. People are just gonna go up to them and stuff. So developing a personality is kind of like a whatever thing. So I'm glad that goes both ways because
I never even thought about it the other way.
yeah, 100%.
Because I guess I'm not like checking out.
I remember this story of my friend. He went to this my friends, they went to a cougar bar. And so a week after, I'm hanging out with them, right? So they're telling me about this cougar bar. And we're in front of there's guys and girls in the party that we're hanging out in, and I think it's a pregame to go somewhere. And then he's like, hey, we should go to this place and everybody's like, oh, the cougar bar. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, why do you want to go to a cougar bar, bro? And he's like, bro, like, I don't know, bro. Like, I was there and like, I don't know, this lady just came up and asked me to dance. And I was like, what do you mean? And then he's like, yeah, she asked me to dance. She took me out to dance. And then when we were dancing, she asked me like, where are you from? Like, what do you do? Like, how's your day going? And I was like,
I'm kind of on my way.
I was like, oh my gosh, she asked you like about yourself? And he was like, yeah, bro. And everybody was like, wow. We were like, damn. She like he said where he worked, and she started talking about some people that she knew that do the same thing, and like about the what he got a degree in and stuff. And she was just making conversation, and I was like, wow. And she said all this to you while you guys were dancing. When she asked you to dance, she's like, yeah, she even bought me a drink. I was like,
Damn.
The drink could have
Yeah.
been too much for me.
I was like, wow. So trust me, it goes both ways. But I guess, yeah, I mean, sometimes that's why I'm saying that like maybe the guys that do have the confidence to do this stuff aren't necessarily
The best.
the best looking guys, you know.
And then it's like, we say this, like, oh, because we were talking about this, like, you need to, like, learn, go up to guys, like, hit them up,
definitely.
whatever.
I'm glad I pushed you to do something like that.
And then I do it. And then he's like 18. And I'm just like,
And I was like,
this
hey,
is
one day
embarrassing.
won't hurt. But then I'm just like, maybe you're right. 18 is kind of young.
yeah,
But
18 is
hey,
young.
one little date, get to know the guy.
yeah, you get some
I
experience
mean,
out there,
he's
you know.
still in
Yeah.
high school.
No, yeah, that's
So
Which
that's
is
what I'm like
weird,
weirded
yeah.
out by. Like, I'm
kind
not
of
gonna be
weird.
dating
Yeah,
in high
yeah.
school.
I think there's definitely
a limit that you
a
have
limit
to
to how we go to,
draw.
because then we just can't relate
Yeah.
to stuff.
Yeah.
And like, also like,
Like, hey, how's prom going?
I know.
imagine me taking like some girl to prom, like
Oh my
No.
god.
Oh, that
22, taking some girl to prom with like her fucking
No.
17, 16-year-old friends.
I am
Hanging
calling the
out,
police.
taking pictures with her mom and like at
No.
her house
Even
and
if
shit.
I was the girl's mom, I'd be like, what are you doing?
Like me and you could be hanging out if we wanted
Yeah.
to.
But I would
Come
see shit.
after.
I would. What are you doing over here?
What you got after prom?
Like I would like, I don't know, but I did see shit like that though. Like when I was like in high school.
That is because like some guys genuinely don't care about like age.
Yeah, they
And
don't.
I'm like, that's so weird. To me, I don't think I could ever date like a younger
Someone
guy.
younger.
Just because
definitely
like you
not.
can't relate
Yeah.
anything with
No.
them, it kind of.
Even like if it was a grade above me in high school, like I was just like, no, like you're doing your own thing. I'm kind of doing my own thing.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna be leaving in a year.
Yeah. What's the point?
Yeah. Like
yeah.
I'll just hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know.
So then
Damn.
I guess like then guys like it when girls like take initiative and like actually
100%.
go up to people.
100% we like it.
How do you know
Yes.
someone has a girlfriend? You just have to go up and ask.
Well, I guess if they are a good boyfriend, they will tell you. I guess. Like, definitely bring it up in conversation or something, or don't like guide the conversation down in that direction. Like, if I know that a girl's coming up to me and flirting with me, I know she's doing it because she doesn't know that I have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I'll it's my job to kind of let them know. Sometimes they do know, they don't give a fuck. So then that's up to you to be like,
Oh
you
yeah,
know
my
what?
girlfriend also likes this.
Yeah, like I haven't exactly just come in with the slap to the face. Like I
Yeah.
don't have to be nice to you if you're not respecting the boundary that I'm setting.
yeah,
know.
that's true.
Yeah.
Do you have like any tips? Like I have no clue. I don't really like go up to guys like at all. But like
Just go up to him and
like
say,
at the
"Hey."
gym, like at the gym, like one, I think I need to look better going because like I actually go and I'm like, hey, I need to get some stuff done. And I don't. There's like two parts
Yeah.
of the gym where it's like the machines, which a lot of like the guys my age and like the attractive, more
Yeah.
looking guys, I guess. Then there's the other part of the guys where it's like older and like there's not really machines. It's just open space.
Hmm. For
But
them
I'm
to do
like-
their like calisthenics and shit.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I think, I don't know, like, I can't just go up to you and be like, hey, like, let's get dinner after this. Like, what?
No.
Well, gym is like easy for you guys. It's hard for us.
I'm not gonna, like,
It's hard for us because the whole gym thing, like we know that there's gonna be that one time where we say something because we see something going on. We see like, oh, she's looking at me, I'm looking at this.
I know.
And we're gonna be completely off base, and this girl's gonna pull out her phone and start recording me of like, why are you fucking bugging me when I'm at the gym? That's what we're dealing with. You guys are dealing with the guy might be underage, so you say haha, like whatever, I walk away. That's fine. You tell a story, haha, in a podcast, everybody laughs. I can fucking go to jail or get kicked out of my gym. You know what I mean? And we
Well,
see it, like we
that's
see there might
true.
be a connection or something, but we don't know. We don't know like if
yeah.
it's also not like a for sure thing always. Maybe one day it was an opportunity, but the next day we try and you're like, oh no, like
He's weird. Yeah.
it's weird or like whatever. So however selective and difficult it is for you, trust me, we're playing with live ammo over here.
I just don't want to go up and be like, I'm honestly an awkward person. Like,
If you
I'm
make the
not-
first
like-
move at the gym,
Julie knows how weird I can get. Like, literally, like, it's just bad.
but it's the gym. Like if
Yeah.
if you make the first move at
Julie.
the gym, I know for a fact that it's okay for me to talk back. But it's just weird for me to make the first move because I could be wrong and just bothering you and you get annoyed. But if you're making the first move,
then the cards are all on
yeah,
the table.
the cards are on the table. We know what's going on and we get cooking.
Yeah, it definitely took so much courage to actually like go up to that
Yeah,
guy
it's
and
tough.
like do
I'm
it.
telling you,
for
that's why I don't do it.
myself.
That's why I've never been able to do shit like that, Julie. You
But-
did something that I've never been able to do.
Like,
Yeah,
why?
I'm just kidding, I'm kidding,
Me
I'm
neither.
Well, I mean, like, good experience. Did it work out? Not really. But like, and he
you know-
still tries talking to me too at the gym, and I just feel so bad because I'm like,
I'm not interested, bro.
I'm not interested. You're a kid.
There's like one guy who comes. I told you, he always comes up. Well, he like me and him used to work out at another gym, and he always comes up to me, and he's always like, "Hey, how's your day going?" And like I love it so much because I'm like, you always ask me how I am. Like
Yeah.
no matter what I'm doing, he's like, "What are you up to?" I'm like, same old. But I'm like, I wish I could do that, but I get
Just
so
go up to
shy.
But you can't. You know, you say that, but it's like you just got to practice it and then you get better at it over time.
Yeah.
It's difficult at first, but I promise you that. And guys love stuff like that.
I
We
think
really
that's gonna
appreciate
be
stuff
like
like that.
my 1 month goal. I'm gonna go up to someone at the gym. Buzz cut guy.
Buzz cut guy. There's a buzz cut guy at the gym.
I mean, it's. I'm telling you, it's way easier for you guys. Like, anytime that you do
I
it,
don't
someone's gonna
believe
receive
it.
it well. So it's really nothing to lose. You just have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could see that, but I mean, has it gotten me anywhere? I wouldn't say that.
Well, great, Julie. I'm like, should I?
No, you definitely should. I think it's just like certain cases that like it just doesn't work out sometimes.
Because I feel like me and this guy, we have not said one word to each other, but we're always looking, like we're always making eye contact.
You
at the
see,
gym.
that's what I'm
And I'm
saying.
like-
Yeah.
I just feel this type
The
of
vibe.
thing. Yeah.
You think that it's like obvious to you guys, but we're in our heads. We're like, we don't know if this is real, or if we're just
No, it's
catching glances.
real.
Okay, well now you
and
know.
I'm waiting for you to come in at the gym. Like,
Come on, bro.
I'm
She's
trying to
telling
look
you right
nice.
now.
Yeah.
Come in.
Buzz cut guy.
yes.
What do you guys usually like look for in a guy besides being tall? But I guess I more mean like does it matter like what he wears,
Yes.
the type of style that
At
he
the
has
gym,
going on?
you know what I hate?
Uh-huh.
Guys who look at themselves. This is so like too many guys like this. Like just comment, like always looking at themselves. And I'm like, dude, like what's with the male physique? Like, are you like I
Attracted
get
to
it
yourself?
too. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll look at myself every now and then, but like the whole time you're here, like get some stuff done. Like the videos can wait. Like, and it's this one guy too. Every day he records himself, and I'm like, one week video. You're not gonna see results overnight. Like, put the shirt on,
Get
work
some work
out,
done.
go for a run. I don't know. Next week, take a video. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
see
if
where you're
I
at.
see you at the gym like that, I'm like, ew, like, what's with the male phys? Like, it's, yeah, you have a nice figure, but like,
You're a little bit too obsessed with it at this
yeah,
point.
like,
Yeah,
do
like
you
it's saying more about yourself than the fact that you look like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
I will say I like to see some finished, I guess, results.
Yeah.
Everybody likes doing that when they work out,
Yeah.
but there are definitely some guys that take it very obsessively. There's guys that post it like on their story like every single day,
And I'm like,
It's
one-
ridiculous.
1 week video. Let's see the next Monday, take a video, see what's changed.
yeah.
But I'm like, the whole time you're here, you're just looking at yourself in the mirror. And I'm like,
nothing's changed since the last time I saw
yeah.
you
And
yesterday.
I'm like, I don't look at myself in the mirror. I'm checking out the guys. Like, literally, like, that's
You're
what
wasting your time.
Yeah, and I'm
you
like,
could be looking at me.
I know. I'm like, why aren't you looking at me? You're checking yourself out of the mirror. And I'm like, so it's like, are you like intrigued by like that? Like, I don't know. Like, I just
Oh,
think
like
that-
you're fucking like.
attracted
Yeah,
to
like,
like a
Blade-
male.
I doubt that. I just
it's
think
like-
it's self obsession.
I'm
That's
just
true.
like weird. It's, I don't know. It's like a little weird to me. So if it's like that, I'm like,
Yeah, I feel like now that like I'm a lot older and just like so many things that like so many different like instances I've been through with guys, I
Yeah.
think like what I'm attracted to has definitely changed like a
sure.
Yeah?
lot. Like
100%.
now like I really all I care about, like, yes, like looks matter. People will say like looks don't matter, like they do.
Yeah,
like that's
100%.
obvious. But like I feel like now all I really care about is like, does he have his life together? Does he have goals, ambitions,
it's
like things
having
he's
100%
passionate about?
Together, it's just like. You know,
Are
like
you on your
what?
way?
Yeah,
you
like
know,
you're
are there
doing-
Yeah.
systems built in your life to get you,
Yeah, and just have your life together.
as
a little
opposed to
bit. Be-
before you were a bit more romantic?
I was a bit like more lenient on certain things when it came to stuff like that. Like, no, he's getting it together. Like, he's trying, okay, but like, no, it doesn't like, yeah, it doesn't get you anywhere. So just have your life a little bit put together at
I
least.
try. Obviously, no one's gonna have their life together at
Yeah.
20, but like, hey, you're working
You're
for something.
Yeah.
working on it, and like you're passionate about something. You have goals, and
I think somebody having an interest is like a huge thing. Like I mean, I guess in the other way, I think one of the most like the most difficult things to deal with is when you kind of don't have anything else going on. Like you don't have any other interests or hobbies or anything like that. Just because that helps me scope you out a little bit more, helps me kind of like see that you're a well-rounded person. Definitely the lack of personality is something that I used to put up with more when I was like younger. Like, it's okay, I'll bring in all the energy, like it's cool as long as you bounce it off pretty well, like we're good. But now I'm like, I can't. You know what I mean? I can't be
Yeah.
guiding this whole
you need to
conversation.
have a little bit of banner going on,
Yeah,
like a little
like,
bit of chemistry.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
I would leave dates and just be like, fuck, like I've been talking all fucking like the
Yeah,
entire
talking to a
time.
wall.
And I was like, what do you think? Like, I don't know. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's like,
All right, cool. I think it's cool too, and I think it's cool because of this, and that, and this. And then she's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. And what do you think?" Yeah, same.
yeah,
I've
no.
literally had girls that were like, "I don't know. I don't know."
Well, you know what I noticed though? Like sometimes I feel like I'm like that way, but then I'm like, maybe like just the chemistry's not there. And then there's like some other
Yeah.
guys where I'm just like, I can't stop talking, and I'm like,
Yeah,
it's like fun and like.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I like. There's definitely my female friends that tell me that this guy did not let me fucking talk like the entire time, or too overbearing and shit like that. So there's definitely like a leeway, but like it's a shade of gray. I guess everybody does it,
yeah,
but I've definitely seen it a lot from girls, and my friends tell me the same thing.
like that
Just kinda
girls wouldn't
brick wall energy, kind of.
just like
Yeah.
completely.
And it was
dry.
Yeah, exactly, and it was something that I guess didn't matter so much when we were younger because we were still just trying to like hold hands and fucking
yeah.
go get ice
Yeah.
cream and take a picture so I can put on my story and shit
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But now that we're just kind of all going and we've all had that kind of like first impact experience, we're just kind of like, come on, dude, like
You just
give me
want to have a
something.
connection.
Give me
Yeah.
something, you know?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like that's just the most important thing is like looking for in anyone is just like, do we have that connection?
Yeah.
Is there like things that we both can relate to,
Yeah.
things that you would understand, and like, yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm like dating younger people now. It's kind of weird because we can't relate to
Yeah.
anything. And I know that for a fact.
yeah.
I know that you still think about ways in a very elementary style, like love and relationships and stuff like that. You haven't really had the slaps in the face that it takes to grow as a person. So, and I'm not gonna, I kind of would rather date somebody who already has some shit going on. And that's why, I feel like experience and having hobbies and things helps you grow as a person.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because you just experience so many different things, whether it's like, oh, I got like, yelled at by my boss because I didn't do this thing right, or
Someone
like
in like high school's gonna be like, well, today at lunch.
yeah, today at lunch I couldn't get my chocolate milk, so that was like pretty rough on me, or like, you know.
I'm gonna take this
So
jacket off because I'm frying. But sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it just give
But
me a
like
connection.
your like type of guy, I feel like in high school was so different from I feel like what you look for now.
Ooh, I'm very interested in knowing what
I
your
want
type
Jenny
of guy
to
was like
explain
in
this.
high school.
Well, like high school was just like completely different. I feel like
He was more of like a douchebag.
yeah,
Like
What's with girls
football.
and liking douchebags? Do you guys
Okay,
know
no,
that
no,
they're
no.
douchebags?
We were
I
talking
feel like
about
you
this
know that
yesterday.
they're douchebags.
we,
You
okay.
just like
I
it.
feel like I used to like douchebags, and then I have to like train myself to like. It's because I was like, I like douchebags, and then I was like talking with my dad, and he's like, you like douchebags, but you want X, Y, and Z, which a
Yeah.
douchebag will never do to you. Like, will
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
for you.
Yo,
So
100%.
you need to like
yeah.
bet. You need to like pick and choose.
Yeah.
Like you can't be like complaining knowing you're getting with a douchebag. So I was like, you know what, you're right. I feel like I need to train, literally like train to like,
Yeah.
hey, I like this kind of guy. No, he's not like a douchebag. But like, that's what I want. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like
Whoa.
with people in general. People want
You good?
Like, oh, it went back on.
Okay.
like
My headphones.
people genuinely just
Wait.
like want.
Go.
No, that happens sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it gets cut off. Can you hear it or no?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Um,
If it goes out, let me know and I'll fix it for you.
Okay.
Like people just want things that like they can't have, or like people just really love the
Yeah.
chase.
That's the grass is always greener on the other side. Yeah, 100%. I've seen a lot
Yeah.
of guys ruin something that I think was really good for them just because they thought that this other thing,
something else.
yeah,
was-
something else was gonna be a little
Yeah.
bit better down the road.
Yeah, and then like then they end up leaving, and then they're like, I regret it so much, and then they try coming back to the girl, and she's like, well, like sorry,
Yeah.
you're the
Yeah.
one that left. But yeah, I mean, I feel like definitely in high school I had a lot
Yeah, different
different.
type. And then now you're just more like book, nerdy guy who doesn't have like any social awareness. Just kidding. Like,
Definitely, I'm like more like, cause yeah, in high school I want you to think of like
the
The-
high school, like the movie,
the
like
The
It boy.
fucking
I want you to think of the it guy,
Okay.
it guy, captain of the football team, literally captain
Yeah.
of the football team,
captain of the football team,
douchebag,
star,
hat,
fucking.
star person.
Dude, me
Everybody
and
loves him.
We're like always on rocky feet. Like me and him could never like.
Get along.
Yes, like we were always like bumping heads. I'm like I'm trying like, to get like I'm trying like I want to get along with your boyfriend, but I was just like honestly I can't stand him. Like
That should have been my red flag.
And what
number
would you do?
one.
You were just like, he's just like that. It's okay.
Yeah, I would have been like,
it's just like
he's
a
just
little
like
slow.
that. He's a little slow. It's just like his
Wow.
personality. Yeah, like I just loved like the douchebag, it boy, popular jock, whatever. And now it's just like a complete opposite side of the spectrum. Like nerd,
Yeah,
like nerd. What would we even describe it?
a nerd like
Dorky.
Nerd,
yeah,
dorky,
in-
face in the books.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
complete opposite.
Cool.
Complete opposite. So,
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, growth, right? That could be considered as like growth.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like now you're not so superficial as maybe you were
Yeah.
before.
Yeah,
That's
for
why the
sure.
content that you were getting was kind of no-
Shitty.
hollow inside. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like also like hot people know that they're hot, so then they just kind of take advantage of that. You know what I mean?
Right?
We don't talk about it, but you know what's crazier
You
is
would know. You're like, we know.
As a fellow hot person, I
We know
definitely
we're
take
hot.
it.
I will say though, I think sometimes ugly people know that they're ugly, and they project it, so they're really mean.
Mhm.
I will say that,
If
yeah.
you're ugly and mean, like,
Pick a
Exactly.
what
struggle.
are we working with?
Yeah.
Like, literally.
But it's because I feel like it's because we're all seeing the same thing, and we're all thinking the same thing. We're just perceiving it from different perspectives. So like,
Mhm.
you might think that somebody might think like, okay, maybe I don't have the looks, I'm gonna develop a personality, but I don't think so because they also have an attitude and they're also a whole ass person. So they're gonna be like, fuck no, like,
Mhm.
what the fuck, like, what's up? More confrontational and stuff like that. I'll leave it
Yeah.
there just because I think that we should talk about this off air because I do have a lot of examples that I can show you, but I don't want to start calling people out and having it be weird.
Start calling people ugly.
Yeah, that's already a sensitive topic as it is, which I necessarily don't think that being ugly is something to be ashamed of. I
Yeah.
think that I've seen a lot of ugly people get exactly what they want just by working hard and staying true to themselves. You know what I mean?
But if you have like a type that is like douchebag, Like, I say go for it, because, like, our toxic relationship, go for the toxic relationship, see how it feels out, and then you'll, like, be like...
You'll realize
Yeah,
when
you'll
it's not gonna
you'll
work.
snap yourself into place.
Yeah, and he's like,
Definitely.
yeah,
Really?
he's
I've seen
coming.
people just keep going
Okay,
deeper
but there's
in the
some
hole.
people
Yeah.
who genuinely like the douchebag, who like to be heartbroken, like the toxic relationship.
Mhm.
If that's what you like, then hey.
That's what you like.
Yeah, that's true. I used to. That's another thing I like that. Don't get me wrong. There are toxic relationships in college and stuff like that, but I just do think it's a much nicer environment because I used to work at Specs with fucking like just people that weren't college students. Let's just say, and the way they would talk about the relationships and shit, man, was wild as fuck. Like this girl was just like, yeah, I stopped talking to my fucking boyfriend, and like he hacked my Instagram, and he like put on my bio, you
How did
better
he do
answer.
that?
He was like, you better fucking answer on my bio, or else I'm gonna fucking like pull up to your house and shit. And I was just
Oh
like,
my
cool. And they were just saying it like whatever. And all the other people were like, yeah, you just gotta work through it and shit. And I was like, you need to call the cops. That's what you need to fucking do. What the fuck?
I'm actually scared for you. Are they
Yeah.
gonna come into work? Like, am I
Yeah,
gonna get
exactly. Like, and I'm here. You know what I mean? Oh, one time I was in high school, and I remember this girl used to just talk shit about her boyfriend who used to live in Houston. And we were like, just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why? And she used to, because we used to hang out with the teacher. Like, we were like teacher's pets. And he used to never make us do work or anything. Shout out, Mr. Nunez. If you're watching this, that was awesome. But anyway, she was just talking shit about her boyfriend the entire time. So I was like, one time I was like, why are you keep dating this guy? Like, he's so far away, but he still has like his like claws sinking into you. Like,
Stigmatized.
what are you doing? And you think he's cheating. And you fucking found out like, because she was like tracking with like her best friend from like,
You
Was
need
she-
to know a friend. Like, you need to know a friend. Want to know
Yeah.
the truth? You need to know a friend.
You need to befriend a friend for sure.
So I fucking like we told her, I was like, you shouldn't be with somebody like that. So she was like, oh, I should break up with him. I don't know. I was like, whatever you choose, like, this is not okay. Like, what's going on right now currently is not okay. Stuck my fucking foot in it, right? Next thing you know, she comes in the next day saying that they made up or like whatever, and that she sends me a voice. She shows me this voicemail where the guy's talking about me. That like, what the fuck is that guy like? What's he
Getting
telling you and shit like that? And like, whatever. I'm gonna pull up to the outlet, see how like.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, how does he know that I work at the fucking outlets? And then he's like, she's like, oh, it's because I told him. And I was like, and what did you tell him? I was like, I told him that you said that I should break up with him. I was like, that's not what I said. I was like, that's not exactly what I said. So now there was this guy in fucking Houston that was gonna come fucking kick my ass. And it's not the first time that happens to me, where like a girl will break up with their boyfriends or whatever, and I'm nice and sympathetic with it. I think a lot of girls that I've done that with, or that come to me with their problems, is because I end up like not hitting on them and like not taking advantage of the situation, which is not a very difficult thing to do. Don't put people on a pedestal just for doing the bare minimum. But anyway, so I used to like, right, like girls used to come to me, and I mean guys too, but mainly this happened with girls, where they would come in with issues or whatever, and I would try to help out as much as I could from a guy perspective. And next thing you know, they would take everything that I said for like a week and then get back together with the guy, and then they would just start telling the guy about how I was just like talking
That's so
shit.
annoying.
Yeah, and it was
then,
like,
you know what's so annoying though? When they come back with the same problems, I'm like, okay, so obviously, like, you don't want to break up, you don't want to get together, like.
Then why are you complaining?
What's the end
then?
game here? Like, what are we doing? What are we working towards?
Yeah, I'm like, this is like annoying.
Yeah,
Don't
nothing's
bring
gonna
that-
change.
Yeah.
And I thought that it was like different, like as you grow up and you learn or something, but I've still met some people who are way older
Like
than me who are
40s.
still dealing with
Yeah.
the same shit like that.
Yes.
The same little jealousy issues that you used to deal with when you were young, or I guess that you should be dealing with at this time. So I guess it really doesn't depend on like the age or anything like that. I think it just depends on how you take the experience that you're going through.
Yeah.
Are you yourself saying, I want to grow as a person and become more independent, or are you just saying the world is against me and you guys are going to pay
Yeah.
the fucking price one
Woe
day?
is me.
Yeah. I'm the center of the fucking universe. I don't know. You got to humble yourself,
And
you know?
then that's why you date the douchebag, date whatever your type is. So when you get out of that, you're like, you know what? No. After some toxic stuff, you just want to settle down.
Yeah, you want something
Peace and
nice.
quiet. You want someone
Yeah.
who's gonna like be down.
But then it's just so hard to find that. I feel like at this age, like
I think that's
being
what
20, that's like so rare if you find something
Yeah.
like that.
I think that's what, but I think that like it's not just about finding it. It's about just like finding the opportunity and then watering it properly so that it grows into the blessing that it can be further down
But
the
how do
line.
you find the
That's what I'm saying.
opportunity?
That's what I'm saying. So like you're already like, I feel like that's why a lot of people miss the mark, because they're looking for this already developed thing that they might see somewhere else. But you don't realize that just because something is good, it doesn't mean that it doesn't take a lot of work. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you don't have to put in work. Things, can be energizing and pay off very well, that doesn't mean that like it was easy. Like, for example, I love doing this podcast. I love hanging out, scheduling people, having a good time. But it's not easy to do. It's very fucking hard. And then I have to learn how to edit and do all this shit. I think it's the same way with a relationship.
Yeah.
You can like this person, enjoy this person. That doesn't mean that there isn't work that you have to put in. Now, there's people that just want to be handed something well. I can't remember a quote, but there was this really cool quote that I read where it talks about how like you wouldn't try to find somebody else if there wasn't something that you were looking for, something that you don't currently have that you want.
that you're missing.
But then you look for a person who reflects those qualities that you might want. But then when you actually find this person and you dive deep, you realize that they're just as lost as you are. They were just projecting a different thing. So then you might be disappointed to find out that you're just looking at somebody with the same fucking problem.
Yeah, I feel like I had that issue so much when I was younger. I was like, I want to be like this one girl. She was older than me. And I ran into her recently, and I was like, you're a loser. And I was like, honestly, like, I thought, like, you were, like, the shit when I was little. Like, I was like, you're so smart. You have money. Like, you're this, you're that. And then, like, now I look at her, and I'm like, honestly, like, I'm not even trying to be mean. Like, I don't want anything that you have.
I don't want to be you anymore.
Like, I don't, like, I regret that so much. Like,
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, perspective and growing in situations like that doesn't happen overnight.
yeah.
You just got to keep pushing through.
Literally, like, I've known her since I was, like, 9, and it didn't take until, like, last few weekends ago, I ran into her, and I was like, you have, like, 2 not saying baby daddies, like, that's not, nothing's wrong with that, but I'm like, I don't want that.
It's just not the same lifestyle that I was, like, thinking
for, yeah.
that you had. It's kind of different, but yeah,
That's
I
what I'm saying.
guess.
I guess the battle is harder than what anybody's taught you. That doesn't mean you can't, like,
Yeah, but I feel like this person, like, even if you do have to water the relationship, they already have to, like, have
Exactly.
their own
There's
sort
a
of,
couple
like,
tools that you need to show up to the party with.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
like, you can't just be
I
like
can
a
only
shell of
teach
a
you
person.
so much, and
Yeah.
also, like, what I'm teaching you is to benefit us, not just you.
Yeah.
I can't just be growing you and then, because then you're growing or catching up, but I'm still stagnant as fuck.
Yeah.
The way that I describe it is like, let's say, for example, you're a professional chess player. You're an amazing chess player, and you like to play chess competitively. Well, let's say that now you have to, the only other person you can play chess with is somebody who's never played chess in their life. So now you have to teach them how to play
Yeah.
chess. And it's cool for them because they're learning all of these things.
But
They're bringing,
draining for you.
but it's draining for you. And other than that, you're not doing what you wanted to do,
Yeah.
which was play competitive too.
And
You
you
want to
know
have
what?
fun and
And
have
I
a good
feel like
time.
you
Yeah.
create this sort of resentment towards the other person.
100%.
Because you're like, I feel so drained from you.
Yeah.
Like, I might be helping you out so much, but like, you're
Why can't you just
draining.
know?
Yeah.
Why do I have to keep teaching
So
you? Yeah.
again,
Exactly.
back on like dating at the same level, I'm like, if you're older, like, I feel like it would just be like
Easier.
not at the same.
Yeah, like they
Definitely.
already went through that with someone else.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
else took that battle. Now you
Yeah.
just kind of get to hop
Exactly.
in it.
Which, like, sucks for the other person. But, like, like, definitely, yeah, like, like, older. I feel like, just like with older guys, I feel like older guys kind of, like, have their
Is
lives
that why?
depends
Is
on
that
the
why girls
individual.
don't like dating guys their own age or younger?
I would
I-
never date younger, but my own
Yeah.
age, I'm like fine.
my own
Like
age.
a few months younger, like I don't mind. Like you don't
Yeah.
need to be like.
Like in the same range
But
of
I'm
like.
not doing like 18, 17.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
My own age is fine. I just find it a little bit harder. Like,
It's because there's some guys who are older but still like in that same mentality.
That's what I was kind
Yeah.
of like pushing for.
And
So I
then,
was like,
there's
I've met.
some guys who are younger but kind of like grown up a little bit in the head. So
yeah. I guess it just depends on the person.
When I was like 18, I used to talk to this girl from my job that was like 27, and she would. It was like I was texting a 16-year-old girl,
that's so weird. To
She would be
me.
like-
I know a girl like that.
and she's like, she still live with her parents and stuff, just fine. Like, it's okay. But I was like, damn, like she's like, she was. I don't know what the fuck she said, but she was like, yeah, I'm at Walmart with my parents, like they're like buying stuff, and I'm just like walking around with them, and I was like, okay, cool. She was like, be careful out there, sweetie. Like the roads are like icy and shit. And I'd be like, are we gonna hang out tonight or what? Like, what's going on? And she'd be like, I don't know if I can go out because like we already all got home and everybody's already asleep. And I'll just be
Bruh.
like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So, and I've heard the same thing. Like, I've met guys that are my age and they still think and act like they were fucking in high
No,
school.
yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean?
like,
That's
it
why I'm
really
saying like,
depends.
yeah, you say like older guys and stuff, but that might even just be a little bit of the thing
Yeah,
because there's
'cause
still some that just don't grow.
I know there's
Yeah.
some like one. I used to work at a gas station and we would have like
Oh,
a ton of regulars come in, and there was this one guy who like worked across the street. He worked at like a barber shop, Damn.
Go ahead.
But he was like, you would like always be hitting on me, and then like I followed him on Instagram. He has like 2 other whole kids, and I was like, damn, you got like a whole other life
Yeah.
that like I don't even know about.
Yeah.
But you like me and you like we. Like you look like you talk like a kid. I literally thought he was like 24. No, he's like 37, and I was
My
like, like that. And I was like,
Grow up.
honestly, I would have never wanted to go out with like you if I was older. Like grow up. Like plus I was like 18 at the time. I was like, why do you want to hang out with me?
Yeah.
Like
Isn't that so fucking weird?
mhm.
I remember there was this hilarious
And
couple.
I'm closer to his daughter's age than I am to his age. I'm like, your daughter is like 10. I'm like 8 years older than her. Like that's a little weird.
But see, it's because they
Yeah.
don't think that way. They don't care about that stuff.
Which is just creepy.
Yeah, I guess it's creepy.
It is weird.
I remember there was this couple that we hated because, but I was always so confused. My brother and I used to work at the same place, and there was this couple. There was this girl that was our age. I think I started working there when I was like 17. So she was our age 17, and this guy came in that was like 20, 28. And they started talking, and I was like, okay, like, sure, like, it's fine, like, whatever, do whatever you want to do. But they would be fighting like little fucking kids
That's
in the
what I
fucking
hate?
store. Like,
you should never be fighting with your significant other in public.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is like so immature. Like, no, like take it somewhere private. Like, it's so annoying.
I was like, how do you, like, I don't know what the lack of self-awareness that you need to have
Exactly.
to be doing this in front of people. And I remember like the first time that happened, like everybody was like super understanding. Oh my God, this sucks. Like what a terrible thing just happened. We all have to deal with this because we're all here. We're here for you. But after it just kept happening over and over again, we're like, what the fuck, bro? Like,
You're doing it to yourself at this
yeah,
point.
like, is this a game for you guys? Like,
It's
what the
like-
fuck is going on? Like, and how don't you see, like, number one, like, how are you 28 and still picking these little stupid fights that some girl walked in and she said hi to him and he, like, said hi back or, like, whatever. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, and now you're, like, you're supposed to be doing something. This is a job. You're supposed to be
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
But now you're crying in the fucking bathroom while, like, clients and everything are coming in. Like, what are you doing? It's weird.
Yeah.
And I don't see how they didn't snap out of it. So that's why, like, when it comes to like age and stuff, I see more like experience. Like,
yeah.
what are you doing? Like, what
Yeah.
Yeah.
are you involved in different things? Do you have a plan for yourself?
That's
How do we
sure, like,
communicate?
Some
Yeah.
guy, I guess like some people could be younger, but like what you've gone through.
Definitely.
But
yeah.
like again,
Yeah.
I don't like you could have like be a foster kid, like this really tough life in high school, and I would still be like,
yeah.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
still
Well, there's there's a line
Yeah,
somewhere, that
like-
it doesn't matter how mature you are. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like I was pretty mature for my age, and there was girls that I would try to talk to that were older that would not, like, make it very clear that they would laugh at my jokes and be funny and hang out with me, but they were not interested in dating me at all.
Yeah.
I remember that, so that's
Which
what
is
I'm
good.
saying. Yeah,
Those
it's
are
good.
people.
I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was just thought, I was being a little goofy and had a little bit more confidence than I should have, and I was hanging around people that I generally wouldn't be hanging around with, and I took advantage of that by like flirting or doing whatever. But I was a kid. I was being stupid. It's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they made it very clear that it was because of my age and that I was a dumb fucking kid, which now I appreciate now that I'm older.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
they definitely could have taken it to like a different route.
Yeah, because then, like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
And I guess like for the people that like they grow up and they're still, like you were saying, worried about different little things like that, I think it just comes like based off insecurity. Like it's like now it's like you have your own insecurities that
yeah,
you
like
need to
if
be
you're like
dealing with.
insecure, like oh he said hi to another girl, like
That's your problem.
that's
You
kind of
need
like
to deal
basic
with.
human manners too.
Like
Yeah.
it's
you
just
don't
interaction.
want a boyfriend who's like mean to everyone else.
Yeah,
like,
just because you want him to be
and I'm
one.
like, okay, at this point, like you're not a good human. Like you're just like a good guy to the girls you want to like.
Yeah, and that's not a good
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm like, and you want a good person that's
Yeah.
nice to everybody.
Yeah.
The way that I see it too, it's like I don't know. I want to be able to like have my own peace of mind. So like I don't want to have to be. Why would you want to be all up on someone 100% of the time? Why would you be dating somebody or being with somebody who you know that as soon as you let go,
Yes.
why not like be with somebody who like that, hey, like doesn't matter if I'm here or if I'm not here, like you're the
You
same
c-
fucking
yeah,
person.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I know one person who is like dating somewhere. Like if they made plans with us, she would constantly be like on her phone, like worried. She's like,
yeah.
he's gonna be doing, and I'm like, how do you sleep at night?
Yeah,
How
what
do you
the
have
fuck?
fun?
Like,
I can barely take care of myself. Like,
yeah.
Exactly.
And like again, life's already hard enough. Like then you're adding this. Like
yeah.
what's the
You can't even have
point?
fun anymore. It's not even a relationship. It's just like now I'm like, this is a job. That I'm like having to constantly like be
Literally.
watching you, looking at what you're doing. Like,
Yeah,
oh, he
worried about
spoke
you
to me weird today.
He was,
Like, did he
hitting
cheat
up
on
my
me?
best friend. Like,
Yeah.
obsessing over like little
Little
tiny shit. And
things.
I don't know. I feel like
and that will make you literally go crazy.
it will.
Yeah.
It will drain you so bad, and like just it will because it rewires your brain. Like now you can't just be fucking relaxing. You can't just be
Yeah.
chilling because you have this constant thing in the back of your mind, and it's annoying as fuck. Like how could you go on like that?
I don't
how?
know. Well, like I'm sure, like at some point, I don't know. Some people go on for a while, but
Yeah.
like again, you live and you learn, and now you know. Like I don't want this in my next relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want someone you can trust.
Yeah. But it just takes time.
It takes time.
It takes time.
But
And it
then
takes-
I feel like it's hard when you find like a good, like a guy who like maybe has like the right intentions, and you're like, no, you were out last
Yeah.
night. Like, you're like
That's
paranoid
true.
because you're like,
yeah,
were
I
so
feel
hurt
like
in
it's
the
a constant
past.
battle.
yeah.
But as long as you're having that battle with yourself and not just projecting it to the person, I think you're good. I think you're doing
Yeah.
the most you can.
I'm staying up all night. Like, like it's hard.
Do you think? Let me ask you. Because I go out a lot,
Mhm.
and do you think that the girls that I've dated, because none of them have ever told me that they care, that I go out a lot. But
They
do you think
definitely
that
care.
They definitely care.
100% they
Yeah.
care. 1000% they care. Like they're definitely like they're obviously, and maybe they've like tried to like make it seem like they're a little bit pissed, but you probably didn't even notice. Because
Wow.
like girls will be like, you'll say, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to Cincy, whatever, I'm gonna go tonight.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, have fun. Like I hope you have a good time.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
That's me
that's-
being mad.
Really? So I just haven't noticed.
That's me being mad. I don't know why girls we do that a lot, but like definitely if she tells you have fun,
Yeah.
she doesn't want you to have
She
fun.
doesn't want you to have fun.
Does not want you to have fun
Okay.
at all. Like it's because
I
it's
feel
like
I
scary.
would be pissed if like we haven't seen each other like in a minute, and then you go out and I'm like, who you want to see more? Like,
Yeah.
then I
Yeah.
would have been like a little bit upset. But if we like are always hanging out, and like,
Mhm.
hey, I want to go out, and I'm like,
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I actually mean it that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's like you were saying about like watering your plants. You know, like, I mean, like if you're just kind of like alienating people,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just kind of like, and then you're asking something of them, it's kind of a little more of a kick in the face. If you were in a relationship and you haven't been hanging out with this person and you just keep doing all these things without them, that kind of fucking sucks when you're asking
Yeah.
or demanding something of them, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. And I don't want to have to like constantly be like, well, can we hang out today? Maybe it's like I want someone that actually wants to see me too.
Yeah,
That actually wants
exactly.
to make plans to see me.
I think that's also one of the reasons why I couldn't date somebody who's like younger, just because of that stuff. Like I'm not like, if I'm in a relationship, I'm not going to be like, I'll see you Tuesdays and Wednesdays and then on the weekends or something like that.
Yeah.
It definitely takes a different
Yeah.
angle or perspective on what it is to be dating somebody. Like, how do
Mhm.
we communicate? Do we appreciate the time that we have with each other, or do we just text a lot?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know?
It means more when you actually get to see the person in like real life rather than you're making time to text me and like talk to me on the phone, but like are we actually gonna like
Yeah.
see each other?
Yeah.
Because that means like way
Way more.
because I know that
Uh-huh.
you're setting time aside
And,
from
like-
different things to actually see me in person.
100%.
Yeah. And also like you can see how like maybe they say stuff on text. Like I don't know. It is better in person.
Oh, that whole texting is such a super funny aspect. I guess a lot of girls would be like, look, it's because this is what he said. Like, this is what he was saying. Look at what he's saying. But then in person, we're hanging out and they're like being completely different. And then that's
Yeah,
like,
you mean it like a completely
Uh-huh.
different, and you have to like know the person on that level to like understand.
yeah.
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 But also like missing someone too, like back to like being constantly with them. It's good to like be away. You miss
Mhm.
them, you crave
Yeah.
that like
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
being with them.
Mm-hmm.
and,
Yeah.
like add something.
Yeah. Because
I-
if you're with them too much,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
boring.
yeah.
Yeah. You
And
gotta,
it's like good feeling. We're like, oh, I'm gonna see you on this day. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you see, that's one of the things of why I'm like, if you're in a relationship, you should have other things to do, because I've seen like very personal, like my brother had a relationship like that where they were just at home chilling always every
Yeah.
single day.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the issues that they had came from that of like,
yeah.
And I have like a like question, I guess, like, so like there like let's say you hang out with someone and
Yeah.
like it was usually like, oh, like just go to their house, you guys hang out. But then it's like you're also like expecting like dates. Like to me that's not a date. Like it is a date, but to me I'm like
That's not a
Oh.
date.
yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
I want you to text me like, hey, we're going this at this time, like be ready at this time, I'm gonna come pick you up. Like to me it was like arguing of like, but we are on like going out all the time. I'm like, to me this is not like
Me
going
laying in your
out.
bed isn't
Yeah.
a date.
Us
Yeah.
watching fucking movies and shit. Isn't
Yeah.
It? You see, it's because I think that
And like us going to Target isn't a date. Like, yeah, I appreciate this time, but I also want to like get ready and like
Do
look
something,
good.
yeah.
go do something fun. I think that that's a very important point to put into perspective for of boys and girls of what a date is and like what it is to hang out together. Like, yeah, we are hanging out, having a good time, but are we spending like our leisure time together, or are we actually doing an activity together?
Yeah.
And I guess for a lot of guys, it might be like, hey, we've been hanging out all week. Like, we've been chilling.
Yeah.
I see you and everything. But
yeah, I feel like that was exactly how the situation was, and I was just like, no, like
Yeah.
I hate this. Like literally, I hate this, and I'm bored, and then like it's just like
repetitive and kind of,
yeah, and
yeah.
I was just like. Like this is not something that I want, and then it's like sad. Well, I guess I was sad when I would like see my other friends, and like they would go on like trips with their boyfriend, or like their boyfriend would bring them like flowers, and I was
Yeah.
just like, I want that. I was just like, I don't know, like that's cute, and I like, why did I like, I don't know.
It's just like I guess it just shows like the lack of like time that you're taking to actually put into this relationship. Like you
Yeah.
really don't care. Like this is so easy for you. It's so easy for anyone to just be like, come over to my house, we can like put on the Netflix and like we'll just like lay down.
Chill.
It takes no
Yeah.
effort.
I
all.
also think that like that's a good opportunity to show like, are you like, are you thinking about us, or are you thinking about yourself?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are you thinking about like, how am like, I don't know, how are me and this person getting along and having a good time, rather than like, am I chilling, am I having a good
Yeah,
fucking
it's just like
time?
I feel like also you feel like I'm just like settling really.
Yeah, how you get to see how people treat comfortability.
Yeah.
Like, do you get comfortable and then that's it? You just
Stop trying.
As long
like,
as
you
there's
think you have me like that.
exactly
Yeah.
like, as long as there's no tension, like hands off the wheel.
I don't
I'm
even
good.
do anything.
Or are you constantly improving this thing that we're doing, which is a relationship? Like, are you
Yeah.
thinking about like, how are we gonna get better? Like, I've always been like, dude, like if I get like, when I'm married and shit, like we're not just gonna get married and then
like
we're gonna fucking
Distance.
take like dance classes and like
Yeah.
fucking like go fucking back, because now I have this partner that I can do stuff with.
mhm.
So we're gonna fucking do it, and it's worth the investment. We're married, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's an
Yeah.
insane, connection. So like, might as well make all this fucking investment as much as you
Right.
can. So
Rather-
that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like, it's cool. I do understand that it's cool to just chill and hang out and have a great time.
yeah.
But at the same time, like for the relationship to blossom itself, like I think that one of the best things that you can do is to play games in front of your, like play games with your significant others, so that you see
like Uno or like
like, just like-
emotional games.
like charades. No, not like emotional games. Like, play with the fucking feelings and shit.
Like Uno, like what do you mean what kind of games?
Yeah, like competitive, like get together with your friends and put like trivia night, or like, I think that shows a lot from a person. Like, is this person like, are they competitive in a good way, bad way? Even if it's in a bad way, it's cool that you have like this much energy and that
Yeah.
you get invested into things.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that energy from people. It's not so like monotonous. It's cool. It brings
Mhm.
light into, breathing room into like the whole thing. I'm not a big fan of double dates.
Really?
I will say, maybe I've just never been on a good double date, but going out with your friends as a group can be cool too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's all this stuff that you can do, and it doesn't take that much effort. And I know that
No.
you like, it doesn't always have to be like an expensive thing. And
No.
I've made the mistake of thinking that that's what it was.
Yeah.
But it's really not. Like, it's really just, like I said, if you have an interest in yourself, like I wish if I was like dating a girl, and then she was like, I don't like soccer at all. I don't watch soccer. I don't play soccer. Like, whatever. Soccer was kind of like flushed out of my system when I stopped playing in playgrounds. But if a girl that I was dating was like, yo, like my favorite soccer team is in town, like let's go, I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's go. And I would
that's
go
so,
and
like,
have a great
Yeah,
time.
like that's so like attractive, because it's like oh, I can't stand when it's like, okay, I want to do something, but you're complaining the whole time.
Yeah,
And I'm
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
okay, like,
Then
first
why
of
are we
all-
doing this? Like, why are
Yeah.
you here if we're
Like,
just gonna be
I
fucking
remember,
reading my
and
shit?
it was like with the same person that like we would do nothing, and I was like, I want to take you to this place. It's like we ended up going the whole time like complaining, and I was like, honestly, I was like, you like I was so excited to like hang out with you, and I'm just like complaining the whole time.
Like a little kid.
Yeah,
a
and I'm
little
like,
toddler.
even if it's like something you don't like we're together, and I
Exactly,
enjoy being
yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
And it's also like where you get, that's how you get to scope people out. Like, how are you when you don't get what you want?
Yes.
How do you behave when you're not doing,
Something
when we're
that
not
you wanna
doing
do.
something that you want to do? Like, are you
Yeah.
still with a good attitude? Or, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you think about this relationship? Like, are we just doing the things that you want to do because now you have a girlfriend and you have all these things that you didn't have before, and now it's like a little keychain that you get to take over?
Yeah, and it
your
is
day.
honestly so much more attractive if it's something that you're like, okay, I don't like soccer, but like I'm gonna go and I'm gonna
Because you
have a
like
good
it.
time, and I'm
Yeah.
yeah, like it's like
Yeah.
okay, like when things get like hard, you're not gonna just be like
Bail
"Meh."
out.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying, where like that builds the relationship. Like, it gives it
Mhm.
the breathing room that it needs to grow into something, because now I know, like, hey, like, that we're in it together, you know what I mean? Like, even if it's
Yeah.
not completely something that you want to do, like, I know that I can take you anywhere and we're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, as long as I'm with you, I'm gonna have fun. Even if I
Exactly.
hate what I'm doing,
Literally.
like
Uh-huh.
you're with me, I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah, like literally, and it's literally just hanging, like being with you. I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
100%.
You know, that's something that me and my best friend used to say like all the fucking time. Like, I used to tell him, like, I'm like, really, bro, like, I'm just gonna go to a bar, chill, and like have a beer. I'm not gonna talk to anybody, do anything. He'd be like, who cares? Like, I'm going.
Yeah.
cares?
And that's how
If we're
we
just
do
sitting
it.
there, yeah. If
Like-
we're just sitting there, we're just sitting there.
Yeah, like me and
Yeah.
Julie will literally just go on car drives and like listen to the music on full
Mhm.
blast, and it's like, who
Yeah.
cares?
We don't need to be doing anything crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
as long as we're like having a good time, we're together.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's really all that matters.
Yeah.
It doesn't take like, oh, I want him to spend $500
Yeah, like,
on
and
a
then it's like,
steak
okay,
for
like
me.
when a guy is like, oh, she just like wants to like go on a date, like it's like we could go to the park and get food at
The food truck.
yeah, the
Get
ice
an
cream
ice
truck.
cream.
Yeah.
And like and if you offer to pay, like that's literally it. Like, okay, you have like, I would appreciate that more than if I had to plan everything and we
Yeah.
go to this restaurant. Like, no, like a little.
Oh,
bit of-
okay. But you see, girls are like, that's funny because I've literally like been like, okay, like you plan something like to girls that I've dated, and they're like, I don't know. Like, I feel like a lot of them are just used to being taken to places and done things and stuff like that they don't actually realize, like, I don't know, maybe we like that shit too. I don't know.
I mean, like in my past relationship, I was always the one planning out everything. I
That's
was
so crazy. You
always
see
the
how
one.
it's not like a guy or girl problem thing. Like, it's just
Yeah.
the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like both parties complain about it. That lets the real culprits go loose. You know what I mean? Because you
Mhm.
blame it on the fact that it's a girl, or you blame it on the fact that it's a guy, when it's really just
Up the person.
it's the person and it's the people.
Yeah.
So then the real people they just get away with it. They don't have to change. They don't even
Yeah.
get the message.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ah, it's all nuts. It's all complicated. And it's all sticky.
You know, I think also like when it's older, like my dad also told me, he was like, he has like a book.
Yeah.
And him and his like his partner like look at it, and they just choose a random page, and it tells you like a bunch of date ideas.
Oh.
So they're like, we can
You
just
see?
choose one.
Stuff like that
Yeah.
is really helpful too.
And he also has like another one for like gifts. So there was like a bouquet, and like each flower is like a different flower, but like the initial of the flowers is like her name. Like,
Oh, okay.
does that make sense? Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
it would be J would be the first flower, and it's like a flower with that name.
With a J.
Yeah, and then
yeah.
the next one would be like you know?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Stuff
cool.
Like that. And
You
he
see-
was like, you guys should get that book, like if you ever get married. And I was like, yeah, it keeps things like fresh.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like even a lot of it is like, just you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's tools out there that you can use, and there's
Yeah.
no shame in using them either. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how to communicate, how to conversate, how to plan a date, best things to do around the city. Like,
Mhm.
I've been in situations where people are like, what do we do? I don't know. Google's like
And even
Yeah.
if,
cool restaurants and
like,
shit, and then boom.
I don't whenever see my dad, like I asked him, I was like, I really don't think you would be the type to like be romantic. And he's like, no, like this book has really helped me because it like just guided me of like, I'm gonna give her these flowers and then write like a romantic handwritten letter and give it to her office. It's
Yeah.
like a surprise, like
Yeah.
from an anonymous guy.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And that's romantic even like in
Yeah.
itself because he's trying to be more
even though
romantic.
he didn't
100%.
think about it like
Yeah.
himself,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was like,
That's a big thing
Yeah.
too. It's like a lot of the things that I know that girls want but don't want to ask because then they feel like the guy's doing it because they asked, not
Yeah.
because the guy. I'm like, a lot of the times I understand that. that you're not getting it the way that you wanted to. But sometimes like people just don't know, and
Yeah.
it's not like that I don't want to do these things for you. It's that I completely just don't know.
But then there's like certain things where, like, okay, like I would like the door open, like.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Like,
Yeah,
and
there's
it's like, well, I just don't know, and I'm like,
Well, maybe you should.
yeah, I'm like, okay.
I think it's also tough, like, but I don't know. It'd be a whole other conversation of what relationships are like or what friendships are like when you kind of get really comfortable over time. I guess the thing is to just have that thought of like, hey, this isn't stagnant. Like we're progressing constantly.
Yeah.
Like we're
Yeah.
getting better. We're building more. There's
I
always
guess like it's really important too when you're like married.
yeah. It's easy
Yeah.
to just be like that's when I think that like it just kind of gets monotonous in relationships like that where everybody wants that the fucking honeymoon stage, you know, like it's easy to do that
Mhm.
stuff, but you don't realize that there's a whole other thing after that,
Yeah.
and that it's mental. Like it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a honeymoon stage anymore. It just means that you got to put in work. It's a good thing.
To
You got to
keep doing it.
exactly.
So, do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah, I do have a girlfriend currently.
So like, you were asking us, what are like the qualities in guys other than they're tall? What are the qualities in girls?
Honestly, like, so
He's speechless again.
Yeah.
I think that one of the best qualities that a girl can have is when they don't treat me as like just expendable. You know what I mean? Like when I get to see that we're like a team. You know what I mean? I remember having a conversation with a girl one time about this, a girl that I was dating like a long time ago. And it sucked because she took it as like pay for your own shit. Like we've been dating for a long time, like pay up. I'm always driving. You should drive sometimes. That's how she took it. And maybe it was just the way that I said it and it was wrong. I didn't have the way to communicate stuff like that. But
So she thought like you meant that you wanted her to pay.
to pay and to do stuff like that and
And you
shit
were
like that.
That's not what you were.
That's not what I was trying to communicate. What I was trying to communicate was just like don't treat my time like we're a team. Like I know that you're used to guys just like scooping you up all the time and doing all this stuff for you without you even having to lift a finger.
Yeah.
But I can do that for you. But in the couple instances where I couldn't and I was like expecting you to kind of come in like help out,
Yeah.
you didn't. You were just like, okay,
Yeah, I feel like
whatever.
I used to be like that, and I'm probably still am. But I feel like I noticed myself like I need to be more, and I was like, Julie, I need to be more like, I don't know what the right word is, but like giving.
Okay.
and a little bit goes
did
a
you give
long
it?
way.
Like giving a little bit more, I guess, affection.
Yes, because I'm not good with affection. I
Sure.
don't think me and Julie are at all.
No, I wouldn't say that I'm really good with affection either.
So just
But like, I want someone to show affection to me, and then I'm like, okay, well, I need to be giving a little something.
Yeah, but it's just like hard.
Yeah, that's another thing. I do remember one of my like first ever girlfriends was just like literally like you're what you get is to date me, and like you gotta be showering me with like all this shit, and it was like, well, I would love to do that stuff, but it doesn't come to me because you're not doing anything either. You're not giving me a
Yeah.
reason to do that stuff for you, and like
yeah.
being in a good relationship is like I want to do these things for you because you give me so much, and I see how hard it is for you to put in your work, however little it might be, but you're not used to doing it, and you're putting yourself out there and you're doing it. I see that and I respond positively to that.
Yeah.
Like I can, but it's kind of hard when you're just doing it, and you don't see anything in return.
Anything back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it really sucked when I said that, and I was like, I like, you had me driving around because that's really what it was. Like I planned a whole trip for us, and then she was like, oh, like the day of, she was like, oh, I can't.
No.
And I was like,
I would have been pissed. I would have literally
Right?
been like, F you, F your mom.
right. So then I was like, okay,
I hate
let's push
that.
it. Let's push it next weekend.
No.
If you can.
This weekend I'm coming to your house. We're going.
So this girl was like, yeah, sure. Let's push it next weekend. Okay. I waited until like, cause it was like on a Saturday. I waited till like Thursday night to tell her about it. I was like, hey, I'm going to buy the tickets. Like, what's going on? She was like, yeah, let's do it. Then the next day comes. I didn't buy the tickets. The next day comes, and then she was like, oh, actually, like I can't. And I was like, bro, like I understand that like for you it's just like, are we going or we're not going? But I had to get my like
Yeah.
I can't take my truck. My truck is really far. It was
And
like
then it's work.
Uh-huh.
You're
I was
doing
like,
work
I had to
things.
take work off.
Yeah.
I had to get my parents' truck service because I'm gonna use it.
I hate people who
Uh-huh.
are like so unaware of other people's time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I'm
what
like-
I'm saying.
Yeah, and I'm like, no. Like, I have no patience for this because,
So
like,
that's one of the very attractive qualities that you can find in a girl. When I'm not saying you have to like be putting in all this stuff or anything, but just that you're aware
yeah.
of the
And
work that I'm
like,
putting
if
in.
it was the other way around, even when it's you go to companies and they're just wasting your time,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's annoying.
Yeah,
Like,
It's-
be on time, say you're gonna go, get it done. Stop wasting people's
Yeah.
time. Like,
That's like, life
101,
motto.
right? You would think. Also, another thing is like, I'm very inclusive when I am dating a girl and I bring her around my friends and stuff. I'm very inclusive. I'm like, whatever. And if we're with your friends, I'm well behaved. I'm interacting. I'm talking to people.
better be well behaved.
Uh-huh. But if you don't do that, like now when I bring you over with my people, I literally have to carry you around like you're like my little brother, like, hey, here,
yeah,
whatever.
talk
Then,
to
and you're not
people.
energetic and you're just kind of there, like chilling, like whatever, not doing anything. But when I'm with your friends, I'm literally doing the opposite. I'm being
I need to get
Friendly,
better
creative.
at that.
stuff like that is what
It's because
helps.
honestly, I
Yeah.
could sit there. You don't have to talk to me, and I'm fine. Like
I know. I understand that. I
Yeah.
understand that. I get that 100%. And maybe that's something that I didn't know before. But again, like, how would you like it if I showed up and I was just like chilling the
Yeah.
entire time,
Yeah.
not talking to anybody, not doing anything,
that's understandable.
expecting everybody to come talk to me and to get the
Yeah.
conversation started. So that's really one of the most attractive qualities. And I don't even need that or at all. Just
So when you were meeting your girlfriend, were you having like, I like this, we can work on this?
Yeah, like you're doing like a checklist, or how was that?
no, I
How
can't
did
say
you
that I
know
was
you
doing it.
wanted to like, hey, I want you to be my girl?
Well, it was you got to take a chance at some point. The thing is that it was it was a part where you were like, is this something worth like pursuing? And most of the time it is really, like, people are people, and I don't come in with a checklist or anything like that because I want to come in with a fresh mind. I don't know this person or what they see as a relationship. So if I can come in with an open mind, and when they stumble and make mistakes, hopefully they're and I'm cool with that, and I'm like respectful and like whatever, then maybe when I stumble and make mistakes, they'll also be open-minded and everything like that. What sucks is when you come in with this open mind of like taking everything as it is and understanding that this is a whole person and not just an abstract that I can shape and bend into whatever I want. It sucks when you're doing it, but they're not doing it. You know what I mean? That's where it becomes difficult. And you got to have a foundation first. Like, before you start doing all this other stuff, you got to have a foundation first. So it's really just like, are you thinking about me in more ways than just what benefits you? Are you seeing me as a person and not just like the person that gives you the things that you want? You know, that's a very attractive quality. I know it seems very complex, but really it's just the thought that when we're hanging out, you make my time easier and more chill, just like I'm trying to do it for you.
And again, if you'd like, I feel like you have to go through like not a relationship that's like toxic, but like hanging around people who are draining you, and then you'll change like your mindset of like, this is not what
this
I
is
want.
not what you know. I don't have
Yeah.
to be doing this. This
Yeah.
isn't the way that things are supposed to be.
Yeah, and then like, because I feel like I still am like, I would want someone who is like a douchebag, like we both would, but then like you get tired of that, and you're like, I want someone genuinely nice to me and cares about my feelings.
But it's so hard to find that though.
Well, I think it's hard to. Yeah, I guess it is hard.
Yeah,
It is. I don't know if it is for guys, but it definitely is for girls.
Yeah, it's because I honestly just think that we're looking for completely different things, but we're looking for the same thing. We just don't know it. That's why the disconnection is so big, because instead of like, we see you as girls and us guys, instead of just seeing you as a person. Like,
what do you mean?
I-
Person?
I feel like, because we were having this conversation before.
yeah,
I feel like guys, like I say this all the time to Jen, but I feel like they just only want one thing, and that's just sex. I feel like that's all they want. We were talking about this.
yeah.
Like, they really only want one thing, and once they get it, it's like, okay, now I'm done. I'm done with you.
What a shame. What a shame. You know, like, what a fucking shame. But I
What a
can't disagree with you. Like, I can't disagree with you. I don't know how many times my boys have been like, yeah, dude, I like this girl, like whatever, like I really like this girl, like whatever. And then once they start hooking up, they're like, just kind of start seeing all the things that they're also lacking from the personality that they didn't see before. but just because they were looking to kind of get laid.
Yeah.
So if it was up to me, I wish all the guys could just kind of like get laid, just to kind of get it out of their system,
laid.
to realize that there's
You
actually
can do it at home yourself.
just so you can realize that there's actually more to it than
Yeah.
that. So usually the guys that are kind of just looking for that, just kind of, I don't know, what an elementary way to see like another person. But again, I think it's just from the fact that they don't usually get it. So that's kind of like their point. That's kind of like
Yeah.
what everything's leading towards.
But then
They might hide it however they can, but in one way or another they do. And then, I don't know. That's why, I don't know. You gotta check what people are like when they actually get what they want. Like, do they still remember you when they get what they want? Are they still hanging out with you when they
see
get?
someone's true colors when you're no longer like on good terms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in both ways, like, what are they like when they're mad? Like, do they completely change? But also, what are they? And that's why I'm saying, like, you gotta put yourself through shit. Like, you gotta keep growing and expanding, because then that's where you get to see who this person really
Yeah,
is.
and like some people will like want you back, I guess, but then you see like when you break up and you're like, no, you're talking all this shit to like
Yeah.
the internet,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
friends,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, like I know your true colors, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Like, you get to see what people are like. I used to tell all my female friends to just like have sex on the first date.
no,
Oh, you
But
gotta be
hold on.
kidding.
I know that doesn't work, but my point was like, well, because one time I told my homie, I was like, dude, like, I was like, you should like,
What
you
advice
should
is
hook
that?
up before you go to. I was like, you guys should hook up before you go on a date.
why?
And he was like, why? And I was like, that way, like, you get to see what you're both like when you don't want something from each other. Like, what is it like? And then you know what he told me? Looked me dead in the eyes. He was like, then I wouldn't want to go on the date. And I was like, bingo. So then what? He's like, I would rather just go hang out with you guys. I'm like, okay. So then you don't actually want to date this girl. You just want to get laid. And you're putting her through this whole ringer of things. Like, she's getting ready. Like,
I
that's
see
another
your
thing.
point, but you shouldn't have to go on a date. You should automatically know, like, hey, I'm just down for sex. Like, you should know, like, I don't want to be with someone right now.
Well, it's because it's not that simple.
But then I'm also like, it's this whole different thing of like guys claim that they like girls, and then you are like,
No, that's not what that is. That's not what that is.
but then it's like, oh, I'd rather just hang out with my guy friends.
Well, it's because it's
give me some pussy, I'm not gonna go.
Yeah.
But because it's different. It's different. Like, hanging out with your guy friends, like, you have a good time. You can talk about shit and you're like, whatever. Again, I think that's a bad thing, because you don't give girls credit. You don't give girls credit. They're way cooler than most people even give them the chance to be. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying when I was telling you they treat them as boys and girls and not just people. This is because the fact that this person is a girl keeps you from actually exploring all these other things that you talk about and chill with your homies. Because you're seeing them as this girl, this thing that
As an
you want
object.
to exactly that you want to get. And I will say, like, the way that when I say a girl that doesn't treat me expendable, like, I'm the same way when guys talk about girls, and I'm like, dude, you don't realize that just by going on this date with you, this girl didn't just wake up, put a shirt on like you did, and go on the date. Like, she was thinking about this stuff. She was getting ready. She was doing this. When you cancel on plans, like, they're more meticulous than we are, bro. Like,
yeah.
like, I didn't even put into consideration the amount of trust that girls put into going on a first date. I'm over here thinking, like, why is she being so awkward? Why is she not talking so much? Why is she not putting in her 50%? When really, the fact that she got in my car and I'm driving us somewhere, I could crash this fucking car right now. And like, she
Kidnap
has
her right now.
zero power over the
Yeah.
situation. So those are things that you also have to take into consideration. We're looking for different things. Like, I'm over here thinking, like, no, she's got to fucking bring up a conversation topic I already brought through. Like, fuck it. It's
Yeah.
easy to get lost in that stuff. But in reality, there's a lot of things that you're not seeing in there. And you get that by mingling with people, by talking, by treating my coworkers who are girls, talking about things and learning from them the same way that I talk to my coworkers that are guys. And I get to learn. That's how I knew.
Well, it's just sad. Like, again, curiosity kills the cat. Like, now we get to know how guys think, and it's just like,
It's not anything different than what you guys got going on. It's all just fucking.
I don't think it is. Like, I mean, I do think it is. Like, me going on a date, I'm not, like, 99% of the time, I don't want to be getting digged down. Like, I'm not comfortable being naked in front of someone I just met an hour ago.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, remember we were talking about that guy
And
that
like,
you were talking to, where like the guy was like, you were trying to get to talk to this guy, and you were like, okay, like, well, let's talk. I like you. You like me. Like whatever. And the guy was like, tonight, texting you, like, what are you doing right now?
Yeah.
And I was like, because we're not thinking in like weeks and months. We're thinking like right now. When
now.
you guys, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so when you hit on this girl, you take her on a date, you're stringing her along for these luge of things when you just want one thing.
Mhm.
And you don't see what
So
this
why don't
person's like thinking.
Like
Yeah.
again, I feel like then stop finding girls. Just go on Tinder, do the hookup thing.
But it's the same thing there. It's really
But
just online dating.
I seriously think there's some girls who just want to hook up as well.
That's what everybody tells me that.
Like, I
Everybody
know
says
there's
that there
one
are
girl
girls out there
Who
that
like
like that shit.
literally will just want to hook up. And I'm just like, find your equal. Like,
Yeah.
share STDs. Just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, find your equal. And, like, if you know you don't want a relationship, stop, like, going through these loopholes then.
But it's because I think that, for example, that takes consideration of this other person's feelings when that's not what they're thinking. Like you're trying to cure a symptom, and I'm over here like telling you like they're not
Yeah.
even thinking about it in
I
that
was
way.
saying, like, I think that's just a problem.
It is. No, it really is. That really is the problem. And it's a lack of consideration for this other person's feelings. You're just kind of like thinking that everybody's a side character in your life, and
You
You
don't
want-
realize this is a whole person. in front of
exactly,
you.
you put your emotions first, which is hard. You're trapped in your own conscious little fucking coconut, so you can't feel what this other person is feeling. But just know that, and then also like when these other people don't show you that you hurt them or that you made them feel a certain way, they block that out too, because who wants to be vulnerable to somebody who's spitting in your face? You know what I mean? So then you're just like, oh, everything's fine, whatever. But it's not. You gotta dig a little deeper than that and take people seriously.
How do we know if we go on a date with a guy and so you're saying like 90% of the time you go on a date with a guy, he just wants to hook up.
I'm saying that if the option is brought up, he's not gonna say no, and that's definitely a big part of why they're going on the date. Yeah.
Damn. Well, I think I want to go home now. I don't like this podcast anymore, guys.
Like, damn, sometimes I have some stuff I want to share with another individual.
and it sucks, but I mean, and then when it comes to like hanging out, you just rather hang out with your friends or stuff like that. I don't know. I guess that's a lot of what I've seen. If I'm being completely honest, I think
I'm just gonna never like do anything ever again.
no, because I don't know, like that
Really just brought me down.
that's not necessarily like, I don't know. I've seen it turn into like a lot of good stuff. And I will say that there are guys who are looking for relationships, who are looking to be with somebody and to have a connection with somebody. And then I don't know, but I don't know.
Are they though? Like,
The same way
are
that you
they
guys tell me that there's
actually-
girls out there that just want to hook up and don't want anything, I can tell you the same thing about there's actually guys out there who do want like a
Okay,
relationship.
there is one guy who we can. He's a B.
Yeah.
You know him? Like the guy who's like so great. He's never let me down. I've put him down so many times. He's always lifted me back up. He's always been there, and I'm just like I just don't feel chemistry. But
Okay.
I feel like he gives me hope. Where I'm like, there are some good guys out there.
Yeah.
Like,
But for every one of those guys, there's like
There
thousand
is
like
a
terrible
yeah,
people.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
I'm getting back up. There's a few guys out there.
I'm
I
still
fumbled the
down.
bag.
I'm still down. I don't believe it. I don't believe it anymore. Like I'm telling, because I like either like the guys like that. They have girlfriends.
Yeah.
Like guys that genuinely care about girls. They have girlfriends or they're gay. Like
Yeah.
I don't think I've met any like nicer guy than when they had a girlfriend or when like they just didn't like women in general. So
Well, I know that one guy. I know that one guy. I know that one guy. He's like kind of nice. I feel like he genuinely is a good guy. Like to
Yeah.
everyone.
I'm telling you, they're out
And
there.
whoever is his girlfriend, take care of him. He's rare.
you're not gonna find someone like that.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. We have to end on a nicer note. We have to end on a nicer note that nothing matters.
That's literally what it sounds like. Okay, girls, all guys just want you for sex. Every time you go on a date,
Better
gather
wear your
around.
nicest underwear because who knows where it's gonna lead to at this
You're
point.
nothing more on this earth other than just to be used.
I've always like I've always thought it was like also kind of just funny how like when you would talk to people like go on a first date and then like later on, like you talk about that, like, oh, I was like ready to go like on the first date, and they're like, dude, I was like way off. Like girls would be like, no way was I gonna do that like on the first date. No way. When I was over here on the first date thinking like, oh, maybe we can, or like whatever, or thinking like, okay, maybe stay near my house or something like that when we're going on a date, like whatever. So we're thinking about like just completely different shit.
We were like last night when we were at dinner with that guy, and he was like, yeah, she was kicking my leg, like she was so down to fuck. We're like, she kicked your leg.
I know.
Like, she literally kicked
Just
your leg.
playing around,
I
and that
know.
translated
And
to
he's
like,
yeah, like we're going home. Like she wants to fuck tonight.
Yeah.
And we were like,
okay. And Jen was like, I'm never gonna kick a guy ever again,
I know.
if that's what that
I was
means.
like, ouch, like I'm not even gonna look at you.
You never know. These guys take it's just it's just the fact that they're in a different mentality.
Well, damn.
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
I like that we
I'm not built for
Damn.
this cruel world.
at least we're, you know, talking about it, asking the right questions.
Asking the right questions. Are things gonna get done about it? No.
No, probably
no,
not.
they're not.
Never.
Can we save the world? Of course not. There's only 3 of
No.
us. There's 7 billion, 9 billion of them.
Damn.
Hey, you gotta keep pushing through, right?
I guess.
Right, ladies?
I guess. I mean, where has it led me to?
Maybe it's just our generation. You think that
Yeah.
has to do? Because, like, I see my grandparents, and I'm like, they've been married 55 years. Like, my grandpa's, like, I feel like an angel to my grandma. Like, I don't know.
You see, I don't know, because some crazy shit happened at my grandpa's funeral that, like, blew a whole fucking, like... You know what I mean? Like, those guys, I feel like even those older people were much more, like, compressed into their roles. So a lot of them just adopted it. But I feel like that compression and lack of self-expression leads to
I
other
definitely
things
agree
down
with
the
that.
line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can keep, like, something like that hidden for a long time. You can keep an
Yeah.
affair or child hidden for a long fucking time.
I agree. Like, you can definitely compress, and then eventually you're just going to have to show.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like, you know, I still have hope, Julie.
I think you
lost
guys should
hope.
have hope. I think that you guys should be very optimistic. You know what Paula said? She was like, I hate talking to Lechuga because he makes me think about things that I wasn't thinking about before.
Yeah.
Instead of giving answers, and I'm sorry, like, I can't give you any answers. I can only make you think about more shit.
Well,
yeah. I mean, Jenny has hope. I have no hope.
Like, okay, maybe tonight I might not have hope. But there's sometimes where I'm like, we still got something in us. We'll find someone.
Yeah, you guys are good contenders. You guys will
I
find
think
somebody.
I'm gonna turn into a nun. I was actually saying.
No,
I'm
Julie, you're
like-
the last person that like is religious.
I'll
gonna have to believe in
conform
Jesus.
to
You're like
organ-
I'm starting to see the benefits of that.
I think I'm starting to see organized religion in a whole new light now.
I
Okay.
know we never even got to organize religion.
We didn't.
Damn.
Well, there's got to be a part 2 then.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah,
be
I
for
have
next
a lot
time.
to say.
Okay,
'Cause
perfect.
I was.
I also
in
have a lot to say.
In a very deep in an organized religion.
Were you really?
Well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Okay.
whole life.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, up
Mm.
until recently.
Well, when I was like 16.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what a beautiful age to discover that the world is not what you think that it is.
It wasn't even that.
Young and rape.
I think it's just like when you grow up in like I don't even know. Should we say like should I continue?
It's up to you guys. I have like another hour.
Okay, well, like when you grow up in a religion, I was born into it,
Yeah.
and I got out of it when I was like 16 because my parents had gotten divorced. It's like it's hard to find a normal way to live,
Yeah.
like to dress,
The way that you want.
to wear a tank top. To us, we could not even drink like Coke,
Yeah.
like because it had caffeine.
Yeah.
Like to other people, that's like I drink Coke all the time, like
Yeah.
since I was little, and
Yeah.
it's like you're in your head, you're like I grew up, and then like I'm gonna have bad luck if I drink Coke
Yeah.
if I do something on Sunday, like. So it takes like a few years to like
Get out of that mentality.
yeah.
To stop being like scared and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I had so much control over my life.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where
That's one of the reasons why like most people. I remember a long time ago I went on a date actually with a girl that she was really cool, but she asked me, she was like, "Are you religious or spiritual in any way?" And I was like, "No, I feel like I am, but not the way that she was meaning it to ask. She was meaning like, are you like Catholic or Christian
Yeah.
or something like that?" And I was telling her about how like just all these questions that I always had as a kid, and never really answered through the religion that my
Mhm.
parents were, like whatever. I'm also kind of like, I was fortunate that my parents weren't that deep into it. Their family was like their
Mhm.
parents, but not them. Gave me a little more leeway. And she literally told me, she was like, oh yeah, I guess, but once I just felt comfortable with like my faith in the people that I was with, I just never questioned it ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, cool. That's dope. And it gave her structure. It gave her,
Yeah.
it made her world black and white and easy for her to digest. And like
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead, have at it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I personally, I don't have anything against that. I just, like I kind of, there's a lot of things that I want to discover and I want to do. And if it's wrong, I want to figure out why it's wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what about this? Is it because it's affecting other people? Is it because of this? Or is it just because this is what was taught to you and now
Yeah.
you're passing it down to
And
me?
Yeah.
Like back to the whole like, not even like religion, sex. Obviously, you have to be married to have sex.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't until not even recently, but I was just like, part of a relationship, like a big part of a relationship is like
that sexual
sex.
chemistry.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's literally like a big part of the relationship, and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, if you guys get married, you've never had sex before, and then it's just like that can't like
that
yeah.
chemistry is so much like harder to build up now that like you're already in this situation. And I think also for people like to be like a religious person, because I'm not religious.
Mhm.
I don't believe in anything.
Mhm.
I used to be super like, my parents are so Catholic, like the most Catholic. My mom goes to Bible study. They pray the rosary
Wow,
every
yeah.
single night. They
Yeah.
go to a Sunday church every single week. Like the most religious people. Like, you have a problem, you need to pray about it. You have a problem, then tell God,
you
whatever.
want to find a
Yeah.
boyfriend. Baby.
No,
Pray
yeah,
for it.
literally. And so I'm like, I see why
Yeah.
you're so invested into this religion, because it's so much easier when you have a problem. Oh, someone else, it's in God's hands. They're
Yeah.
gonna fix it
Yeah.
for me. They're gonna take care of it. Like
Yeah.
that little girl died of cancer because
Yeah, there was
God,
some deeper meaning
there was some
to it.
deeper meaning
It's
to it.
easier to deal with that than to
Yes.
just
Than
the
to-
cards were
then-
bad and shit just fucking happens.
Than to just think people are just like, the world is just fucked up sometimes.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
not
Yeah.
like a deeper meaning to that. Then like people die because people die. Like
yeah.
things happen. And it's like,
It's
then
not fair. It's not fucking
yeah.
cool, but
that's just how it is.
it's
and
easier
like,
to have that comfort.
yeah.
So like you guys are on the same level of like, you guys don't believe in any of
Mhm.
like, because I feel like I'm kind of different in the sense where I grew up LDS and I no longer go to church, but a lot of the values, like I'm so happy I have. Like
Mhm.
I'm happy I was able to go to church, and it's very different from like Catholic, where you guys have a priest. Like we don't have a priest. Like every Sunday we were different people were just like asked to talk.
Mm-hmm.
So I would hear like different people's stories every Sunday.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
like different.
Yeah,
feel like.
I wonder too sometimes. Like I was like, maybe if I had grown up in a completely different religion than
Mhm.
like
and you guys had to like go
Catholic
and like
people.
say your sins.
Yeah, and it's like kind of like traumatizing too, like just like the whole Catholic like religion. And like no disrespect to like people that are Catholic. Like I was once Catholic and I loved it.
I was once Catholic too.
Like and I was like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, like I have like my saint behind my, like it's, you have like different things. I was confirmed. I did
Yeah.
it all. And I completely understand like why people are Catholic. I get it. So like no disrespect to their like religion at all. But then like I like once I like left it and I obviously don't go to church anymore, it's like traumatizing. Like did you ever have to go to like confession and you had to just
I did I think
spill?
I got a fucking first communion was the last thing that I did.
Yeah, like
and we had to get we had to say our sins and shit, and I was like nervous as fuck.
Yes,
and
it's
it
so
was
scary.
Weird.
Yeah, like to me that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
it's scary.
But it's rituals that to me, like confession was I had heard about
yeah,
it since I
and
was
so
a kid.
When
I
you're a
didn't
kid,
fucking
you're
know.
like it's normal.
Mhm.
But then when
Yeah.
you get out of it, you're just like
that's not okay.
Yeah.
It's not. And
it's like primarily that's what religion was supposed to do, give you these good values and
Mhm.
these
Yeah.
good things that people do grow up with and they do. But I don't know. I feel like it's like teaching your kid how to not drown. Like it's easier to just tell them water is scary.
Mhm.
Stay away from water.
yeah.
Water will fucking kill you. If it's not in a bottle or you're not going to drink it, stay away from water. If you see the ocean, run.
Mm-hmm.
Then to teach your kid how to swim.
Yeah.
Because to teach your kid how to swim, you have to take time out of your day, take him to the pool, let him freak out, deal with all that shit
Mm-hmm.
till he learns. And do that until he's good at it. And then even when he's good at it, that doesn't necessarily mean that he can take on the whole thing. there's still currents and there's still times that you're not going to be around. Maybe he gets washed out, or I don't know. So you still got to keep it after that. That's more time consuming. It's harder. It takes more time off of your day than to just tell your kid, just stay the fuck away from water. Water will fucking kill you. And now they're petrified of water.
Yes.
That's kind of what it is like to me. Like these good values and what it is to be a good person. It's easy to just kind of tell people, don't do that stuff because God doesn't want you to do that stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I
all
had
that
a
shit.
whole different like teaching.
That's what it was for us.
For
it was
Catholics,
like,
it's like
you
black
have
and
sex,
white.
you're gonna fucking
burn
God,
in hell.
yeah, you're gonna burn in fucking
it's
hell.
So
and that's
scary.
it, yeah.
Ours was like we had like a book, like a little like I guess like different values. Oh, am I even in it?
Yeah, come a little bit closer.
Yeah, you're good.
My bad. And it was like accountability was like a big like teaching once you got like to 7th grade, and it was like you're gonna make your own choices. If you make the wrong choice, deal with the consequences. If you make the right choice, you know you're gonna have right consequences, and God will always be there. You can always like rely on him to.
I feel like that's what our Catholicism experience was supposed to be at some point, but and then
That's not what
also
it was.
because my cousins are like super Christian, so I used to go to their. Dude, they told us one time like, and this is the type of operation that's going on that I'm really against when I talk about religion. It's when I was a kid, I was like fucking like 11, 12. And they sent me to like this camp with my cousins where we were there for like 3 days. Where the counselors, who I thought were professionals, trained professionals, no, they were just fucking kids like 4 years older than me, were telling me that like masturbation was like gonna get me sent to fucking hell. And that whenever you get any feelings like that, you grab your Bible and you read it. And if you don't, you're gonna fucking die. You know what I mean? That's the type of shit that was taught to me.
We don't believe in hell. So
No,
like,
dude.
Oh, well, Catholics do. Let me tell you.
There's hell, there's purgatory, and then
and
there's
shit.
heaven.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I hate so much is that like you scare people into not wanting to live life.
Yeah.
You scare them into like, if you do this, and this, well, good luck, because you're gonna be burning in hell. It's like, geez, I'm 12. I didn't even know I was gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you're just telling me now. Like, and now I'm like scared to like drink the wrong water because it might be vodka that I'm gonna be sent to hell with like for the rest of my life. Like, it's literally traumatizing, and it's like you want people to live a certain way and you want people to act a certain way, and that's all this religion is. Like, you don't really care about God, you don't really care about religion or being a good person.
And the craziest part is it's a method of control that you don't even know you're doing because that's just what was done to you.
I definitely think there's control. Like, I'm not gonna say, oh, like I grew up like it was all like perfect and we were all like there's definitely like different things where it's like controlling, but I don't know. It's funny. Like, me and Julie talk about all the time. Like, we have completely different views, just because it's two very different religions.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I have a friend that joined our fraternity. Well, he's a brother now, but he joined our fraternity, and to the guy that recruited him, he was a brother. He asked him, like, he's like our age, and he asked him, like, can you talk to my parents? So he went to go talk to parents, which is something that we're happy to do because we know the bad connotation that fraternities have on popular media and for parents and stuff like that. So we host like parent nights however much we can. And they were like, oh, our preacher told us that fraternities are where kids go to do drugs and like have sex with girls and like to get drunk and all that stuff. And one of our guys was like, honestly, like, part of the college experience is going to be that your son's going to get thrown into parties and things where he doesn't know anybody or anything like that. But I can tell you that if he does it and he's with us, we're going to take care of him somehow. So at least he has some backup.
Yeah. And part of like the religion thing, what I hated was like, you're kind of get excluded. Like, you're not supposed to hang around like people who don't do your religion. And I'm like, no, I go to church. I still have the same value anywhere I go. I can be offered Coke and my values, like, no, I just don't really like have the same, like, that's the real world. Like,
it's up to me. Yeah.
Like, there's going to be people who are bad people who are going, like, when I was little, like in 6th grade cursing, but I was just never taught, like, no, it's wrong. So that's just real life. Like,
100%.
and I think religion misses like that point a lot. Like, that's just real life, and you need to learn how to like be around those type of people and still have the same values.
Things are weird and awkward, and that's why I'm saying that, like, it's easier to just stick to that than to actually just tell your kids, hey, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but this is what I got. Like, this is what the fuck I got. So
yeah, and it just sucks, like, especially like with like the religion that like we grew up in, and it's like, you're telling me I'm gonna be damned because of all these things. I didn't even ask to be here.
Exactly, 100%.
I didn't even like ask to be in like
yeah.
this whole life situation, and I'm not even allowed to be human. I'm not
Yeah.
even allowed to make mistakes, because the one mistake that I make, it's gonna cost me like
eternity
of pain.
Always for the end of
a
it.
time.
When I only live like 80 years and I'm gonna be for all of eternity, what the fuck?
Just like scared in my life, and I'm like, damn.
Are you okay? Do you need some help?
No, I think I can fix it. Just like screw it in.
Okay, don't worry too much about it.
Like, yeah, like, damn, I didn't even ask to be here, and like because I like had sex one time when I was 16, I'm like forever like, it doesn't even
fucking-
matter that I'm a good person. It doesn't
No,
matter.
it
I go
doesn't.
and volunteer. I'm like good to people. I like help the homeless shelter. Like, I do all these different things. I'm a good person. No, that one mistake that you made
It's fucking
is
dumb.
gonna cost you like your entire life, like ever.
You know, and I have met people who use religion in a very productive way.
Mm-hmm.
Like they use in a real helpful way or whatever. But I don't know. I can't let go of the
Yeah.
majority. I can't let go
Yeah.
of what it's. If it was an institution, what is the main curriculum? Like in school, like I was talking about those couple professors that were cool, but the whole thing was shitty. Like you can't. I'd rather just not have it at all.
Yeah.
If it's not gonna help the majority of the people, like why the fuck are we even doing this?
Yeah.
And I hate when people like use references from the Bible, and it's like, no, like you like don't follow any of the other references.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And, like this one reference you're,
Where
like,
it
dying on
benefits
a hill.
you.
Yeah.
I don't even want to get into the hypocrisy of the
Like,
thing.
literally, like, the whole like I have like it's just that annoys me really like a lot, and I'm like, there's like especially like.
People use religion to their advantage
Yeah.
a lot of the
And
time.
my mom
It's
is
a-
still very religious. And me and my dad just aren't. My parents
Yeah.
are divorced.
Mm.
And so she will use any Bible reference. And I'm like, you don't follow any of the other ones. But it's like the verse, like, respect your parents, respect your kids, too. Like, respect everyone.
Yeah,
like,
everybody. It should just be a
yeah.
thing that you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people are people and they have feelings and emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
What a nuts case.
yeah.
I should start my own religion, I think.
You should.
Yeah.
But then over time, it's just gonna turn into something else because somebody's
That's
gonna
true.
take something that you said after you died
Out
and
of
they're gonna,
context.
and they're gonna fucking turn it into like this whole thing.
Yeah.
That's why it's a scary thing to even start anything.
Well, ouch, guys. And it's different too. We're talking about like funerals. Like
Mhm.
in her funeral, like for Catholics, it's like a
It's
whole
church.
thing.
Like
a
it's just
whole, like,
church.
Yeah.
script.
Yeah.
And like at our church, it's like the family goes up. We talk about them. Like we share favorite stories, like about the people. We share pictures. Our grandkids go up. We sing songs that they enjoyed singing.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like, I feel like when someone had passed away, I felt like I was able to get so much closure and
Yeah.
like healing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, they were a great person. Like,
Yeah.
and I was able to remember all like the great things that
Yeah.
they had brought to my life. And I was like,
I don't know. My Catholic funerals have just been like sit here and cry and be like
Sit here,
Really?
cry, and
And
we're also gonna like pray, like as if it was
Pray,
any
yeah.
other Sunday. It's
Yeah.
like the same service
Mhm.
as Sunday. A
And-
wedding, it's like
Mhm.
the same service as it would have been on a Sunday. Like they don't change it, and because it's also like a super old religion.
Yeah, it is.
Hundreds and thousands of years, super old religion, like 1800s old, medieval century. Like they did not change anything from
and
that
it's
religion.
a whole ritual that you have to keep up. Like it's
Yeah.
not just like it's not very interactive from the audience standpoint. Like it's
No.
really just the guy running the whole ritual and you just respond when you're supposed to respond and you pray when you're supposed to pray and you do this
Yeah.
when you're supposed to do that.
and I guess
Mhm.
that's another reason why I feel like it's different because
Mhm.
I have some type of like connection
Connection.
still.
Community.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because even like I still don't go to church, but like anytime like the sisters, I don't know what you guys call them. Like, do you guys say sisters or like
I think so.
Yeah.
like the sisters will come? Like, if you ever need help, like we're still here. Like, and I don't know, like I appreciate that they'll bring cookies like every now and then. But I definitely think like the death thing has like helped me a lot because it's hard.
Yeah, that seems so much fun. Like
Like,
not fun, obviously,
it's
but
not-
like so
yeah,
much more
like,
productive
yeah.
and
It's
like
like sad because you're like lost someone, but then it's like you go and it's like
everyone else is going through this too,
Yeah,
but
and
we're
we're like-
gonna do
Yeah.
it together.
yeah, and we're just sharing the happy
Yeah.
times.
I
Yeah.
mean, to basically summarize it, I remember like going to church all the time, and like me and my sisters, we'd like be in the pew and like couldn't talk. Nobody's allowed to talk to each other. Nobody's allowed to like smile, laugh, do anything. And I remember like my dad getting mad at me, I think, because like I did something. It wasn't like a big deal. Probably like nudge my sister or like
Yeah.
did something. And then I like come home and he was like, church is not supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Church is not supposed to be fun. You're not supposed to go to church and
be
have a
having
good time.
Yeah.
That's not what that is about.
Yeah. What a fucking shitty. That sucks, dude. But again, like, I don't know. Like, they were brought up that way. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so autonomous
Mhm.
that, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's confusing. It's weird. And there's all kinds of different experiences for it. So,
Yeah.
but I will say that there are other ways to just show you how to be a good person.
Yeah,
That
for
may
sure.
be a little bit more personalized and a little bit more productive, just a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I am not saying like anyone should join any religion. Like I'm the last. Like I have not been in church in like so long, but it's funny. Like me and Julie always talk about it
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's like very
So different.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. But anyway, anything else you guys want to?
No,
Leave
it was
behind.
fun. This whole thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
talking.
Definitely got a lot of things. Got
Good.
a lot of things out.
And now you're gonna have it forever too.
there you
after
go.
I edit it. So
Well,
there you go.
how fun.
thank you guys so much for being here.
Well, thank you so much for setting. the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Of course.
Thank you for having us.
Hopefully there's a part 2 with Julia. There's gonna be a part 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part 3, part 4.
Part 4, part 5. Reoccurring guests. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see.
We'll see where we go.
We'll see my schedule. You know I'm a busy person. So.
Julia, do you want to leave your Instagram and a song you're currently obsessed with?
Yeah, my Instagram
Ooh.
is Julia Lucetto with 2 O's at the end. And a song I'm currently obsessed with. I'm really obsessed with the Taylor Swift song This Is Me Trying.
Okay.
Oh.
Don't bring it up.
Jen, your Instagram and a song
Oh.
that you're currently obsessed with.
I don't even. Let me get my Instagram. It's X3HANN. Wait,
Cool.
X3HANN.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't know if there was like my whole last name. Then my song is Real Love Baby with Father John Misty.
Oh, okay. Is it a sad song? Is it a happy song?
No, it's a happy song. It's like a happy little cute love song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Cool.
I said it to Julie yesterday morning, and I'm like, just imagine me listening to this song on full blast. And I'm like screaming
Screaming into
my
your
bed.
pillow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I just woke up so sad. It's like a cute little love song.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to play a little of it for this episode or something.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And you? What's your song?
Bad Bunny, baby.
Okay.
24/7, always in my
Bad
mind.
Bunny always?
Yeah, Bad Bunny always.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Nice.
I'm glad. Not a lot of people can.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand what he's saying.
Did he go to his concert?
I'm sorry?
Did he go to the concert?
No, and I haven't gotten over it yet, so
So don't bring
I
it
don't
up.
actually want to talk about it right
So
now.
don't bring it up right
Yeah.
now.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. And I guess we'll see you guys next time.
Bye. Is it actually over?